You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
Hey, hey, oi, oi. Hey, hey, oi, oi. In Trinidad and Tobago, politics was we and them. That was never meant to be so, according to the anthem. But ethnic insecurity was maintained to divide us by some people in the country to sow the seeds of distrust. But we have got a new system within the community. Now what used to be we and them has now become only we. From now on this nation is we. From now on it is you and I. From now on it is unity. From now on we flying high. All the races have come together to build a better country and create a brighter future for the whole society. The we and them thing is no more, because it is plain to see in this country from shore to shore the community is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we and we and we and we. From India and some came from Africa. Look today, their descendants are here, coexisting together. There are others who came here too, the Chinese, Syrians and such. Native people are just a few in this land that we love so much. But the politics of the day and the love for a party cause people to begin to say them is them and we is we. From now on this country is we. From now on we all shall be one. From now on that's how it shall be. From now on all division done. As today united we stand, the people of Trinbago, one country, one nation, one island. Chutnipan and Calypso, it's Trinidad and Tobago, better known as T&T. And we want the whole world to know we see ourselves as we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we and we and we and we. In this nation is no more, and Mother China done disappear, gone away for good I'm sure. If we want to build a real nation, there can be no we and them. In spite of ethnic persuasion, all should fit in the system. Side by side we stand hand in hand within the society. This here paradise island, because you and I means we. From now on love and is we. From now on race do not matter. From now on we means unity. From now on we are together. They cannot divide me again, cause we enter a new era. United we shall all remain, looking out for each other. Eric tell me matter they done. Today it is plain to see a new paradigm has begun, and that paradigm is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we and we and we and we. Some politicians politicians have tried their best to keep we subdivided, as their policies would attest. And now we are united, using that old colonial scheme. They sought to divide and rule, because if we are not a team, we are more easy to fool. Look, they had us fighting each other, causing misery and pain. Now all these times are gone forever, before never again. From now on, Trinidad is we. From now on, one philosophy. From now on, Tobago shall be. From now on, standing equally. No more African, no more Indian. We shall all be citizens, forged together to build one nation. Though we are different persons, done away with the we and them. In this land of Black Trinity, whenever we sing the anthem, from now on is only we. No more we and them. From now on, this nation is we. No more we and them. From now on, this nation is we and we and we and we. No more we and them. From now on, this nation is we. No more we and them. From now on, this nation is we and we and we. No more we and them. From now on, this nation is we. No more we and them. From now on, this nation is we and we and we and we. banks of Abyssinia and the terrains of Soweto, sponsored Solomon and Sheba, our tears continue to flow. From east to west in chains we came as pilgrims in bondage, God. Into lands with a different name, yet we sang your praises, Lord. But in this place of evil men, what was once a bright morning star, it soon became a lion's den. Today it would seem we are children of a lesser God, oppressed by another race. Children of a lesser God, with no proper resting place. Children of a lesser God, hoping for a saving grace. Children of a lesser God, desperately keeping pace. Surrounded by bigotry, made to fight for room and board, plagued by social misery. Children of a lesser God. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Ay, 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 ay. Yeah, the black man cry. Oh, oh, yo, 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 yo. Ay, 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 ay. This the black man cry. Black people, please be more conscious or you shall be left behind. Commit your lives to more purpose by elevating your mind. The way how this will change and you cannot afford to be weak. You have to start rearranging to achieve the goals you seek. Time to stop allowing others to shape your identity. Unite my brothers and sisters. You no longer want to be children of a lesser God. Always been the underdog. Children of a lesser God. To be swept under the rug. Children of a lesser God. Always been the one they flop. Children of a lesser God. Striving to see through the fog. Whether in the USA or wherever white men trod, you must never hear them say, children of a lesser God. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Ay, 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 ay. Yeah, the black man cry. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Ay, 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 ay. This the black man cry.
Yes, 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 yes. Let me say a special hello to all of 9 FM. And of course, we come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. And we are looking forward to a fantabulous and splendiferous evening today. We already have our guests waiting in the background, but let me just get this quickly out of the way before we get our first guest, Mrs. Karen Nunez-Tesheira, who's already sitting there waiting for us, to give us some fantabulous information. But let me quickly get this out of the way here. I got to do this real quick again. Of course, let me do this. I got to do this now. Let me do this. Right, when I do that, what happens? So let me do this real quickly. Let me bring in no other than Diana, Waveney, Benskin, Stormy, The Storm, Greta, Utrin Bage, Gonian, Bajan, Benskin. How are you doing, Diana?
Oui. No more you. Oui. Bonjour.
It's only we.
Oui, Le Bon. How are you?
I am doing fantabulous, splendiferous, marvelicious, tremendous, and
And
splentastic.
I can't wait to engage with Miss Karen, boy. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like she too
girl,
bad, boy.
you know, if you see the smile on Karen in the background, eh?
I like Karen too. I Miss Karen. I have to call her. Respect. I have to
Uh,
call her Miss. I like Miss Karen
if you
too
see the smile she has
bad,
in
boy.
the background. So, let me quickly bring in no other than Marshall, Tommy, the commissioner in Newark, Nesbitt. Tommy, how are you?
I'm quite good. And I thank you for bringing me in. And I'm very happy. Tuesday to each and everyone in the village.
Oh,
And
yeah, man. So,
I'm excited too because the last time I said I love Karen.
And
oh, you
guys,
said
I'm incognito. I went to physical therapy and they stretched my back and me and all house. So I'm in a little pain, but I here for Karen. I have to
I don't
engage with Miss
understand this thing,
Karen.
you know. Karen even come in and all people can all kind of superlatives. I love Karen.
Yeah, hurry up
It's
now. You're
Karen.
wasting time. You're wasting time at Wall Street. You're
What's going
getting
on
in the
here, boy?
way. You're getting in the way, Wall. You and your wall getting in the way. Bring in the lady now. Bring in the lady now.
Get your wall out of the way.
Get your wall out the way. Go, go, go.
All right. Let me do this real quick here. Let me get so tonight, no other than the first person in tonight was Highly boy. You get a round of applause, eh? But tonight was really good, eh? Highly was first meal. Joy Smith second.
Boo!
Joy Smith fourth.
Boo!
Vonnie Robert six. Then
Hey,
Nadia seven.
ladies, what happened? What happened? Molly
Nadia,
falling down on the job. What happened to
Nadia,
all
Nadia.
you?
Nadia represented. Don't worry, Nadia represented.
Yeah,
Why these men coming in first all the time? The Bajan girl had to come in and do something
yeah.
for Fumana. What
I
going
don't know.
on?
I don't know. I think them fellas here Karen coming and them fellas man they log in. Let me see what time the fella come in. You know, the fella come in at 2:57, you know. You see what Karen Nunez-Tesheira does do? The post coming at 2:57 p.m.
And the show starting at 7. Woo!
And the show starting at 7. We had to bring Karen back a little more. You know? Let's bring in no other than Mrs. Karen Nunez-Tesheira.
I'm incognito tonight, ma'am. I ain't feeling so great.
Karen,
You're muted.
okay, hold on.
Let's keep
Unmute
it
your mic.
simple and call me just Karen, okay? Because if we go the Karen Nunez-Tesheira, some mouthful even for me. So
Oh, okay. All
like
right.
that, you know.
No problem. We tend to be very respectful in the village. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't. You didn't. I made the offer, so that's the level of respect you did show. There are a lot of people who don't do that at all. They just want to call you by your first name and your first time you meet them. But you have shown that, and I am saying I'm comfortable with you calling me Karen on the show.
Okay. Karen, if you teaching anyway, I come in to take a class. Eh? I come to sit down in your class. I want to learn things.
Thank you very much. But I do really love to, I call it communicate, and spread knowledge, and hopefully people have the aha moment. And I think that's what I
That's
try to bring to the table.
that's what I try to do with my poetry too. Yeah.
You are actually, I have a niece that is very much loves poetry and been writing it. Um, she's only from the age of 10, but
Okay.
she won't let me see any of it.
Well, I'm coming when I come to Tobago. I'm having an anthology release soon.
Okay,
I got a scholarship, so
excellent.
we will talk.
Thank you. Excellent.
So Karen, whenever you go on a program, next day something just go viral, right? That means to say, Karen, you have good things to say.
I think what I do, because I do look back sometimes at what I have said. I don't regret anything I say. I just feel that I do not have the restraints that perhaps many people do have, and I do understand it. People are in business, people have their children in certain jobs. People want to keep their jobs, people want to keep their contracts, and you can get blacklisted. And that goes for all parties. Once you're no longer in power, you soon find out how it is that you become blacklisted, you become a persona non grata. Nobody wants to hire you, nobody wants to see you. So once people understand that, then who is going to speak? So I feel I have a certain level, hopefully responsibly, to speak on issues that I think are affecting most of us in this country and in Trinidad and Tobago and our diaspora in the United States. My sister actually lives in New York. I don't know if you know a Professor Elizabeth Nunez, who writes all these books. And she sent me things. She said, "You're gone viral here, man." One of my students, she used to teach at Medgar Evers for quite a number of years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The last time we had you here, and your discourse back and forth with Gary Griffith was a fantabulous discourse. And the thing all around the world, man. Yeah. If you didn't know Karen Nunez-Tesheira, you want to know who is this vibrant,
and I meant every word that I said, and I think he understood that, and I think that's the most important thing. I when I talk, I mean, I may go back and think, well, maybe I got it wrong. I am not the oracle, but if I say something, I try to do my research first, and I do mean what I say. I represent no one but myself.
But Karen, you're in good company, because they call us troublemakers and mischief makers and rebel rousers too. So Jesus Christ was one, so you're in good company.
And you're making good trouble. Remember the Martin Luther King?
Yeah.
The gentleman, I'm not from the US, so their politics, but I know that he said that when they were marching, he said, "Don't worry, we're making good trouble."
And well-behaved women are seldom spoken about in history.
That is so. That is so.
Not only that, but Martin Luther King also said, "Your life ends the day you remain silent about things that matter."
That's right.
So true. We have so many examples of that. So that's why I'm here, and hopefully I can make a difference for some people. I know you had a particular topic in mind, and I tried my best.
Before we get to that, Karen, are you done with politics in Trinidad and Tobago?
I think politics. I come from a very big family of 11. I think I'm the only one that has always loved politics. Always loved, from the time I can remember myself. I couldn't even read properly, but my parents had the book of knowledge for little children, really. But I'm always trying to learn and always questioning. And I was a person who followed Lloyd Best. He taught me at international relations when I did my MBA. And it's people like him who inspire me because they think out of the box. They independent thinkers. And I am the person that will challenge myself. Why can't we have that self-confidence, that self-faith? So I've always been one who has challenged the status quo in my own way. And very curiously, that's one of the reasons why Mr. Manning had such a great appeal to me, because I saw, and I think I'm correct up to today, that he was not a perfect person, no one is, but I think his commitment to Trinidad and Tobago was absolutely there. He did not die a wealthy man. Nobody can ever, or they try their best to say that he had been involved in any corruption or bribery or anything like that. And he really lived for his country. And he was a great, 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 great inspiration to me, and still is, even in death.
That is fantastic, and I always thought that Patrick Manning was, a visionary, a vision. He had visions, and he put forward his visions, and he went after it, with class and dignity. I mean, Mr. Manning had such a way of putting things over. You will never, you put it over nicely, even if he trying to tell you something bad, you put it over so nicely that you will take it, with a smile.
Yes, and what he had, which all leaders must have if they're going to be good leaders, is to have vision. To be able to have vision, you have to have knowledge. And when you sit at the head of the chairman of the board, so to speak, you have information. A PS used to call it peculiar knowledge. You have information given to you from technocrats, from your own readings, whatever, that you're able to see to the future, what is happening down the road. That's what a visionary sees. He doesn't see just for today, but he sees what is necessary for tomorrow. And one of the things, regardless of all the criticism that so many people make, it's so unfortunate. so many of our young people owe the opportunity for an education. I'm talking about a tertiary level education, not just in academics, but also in learning different mechanical skills, whether it was CoStart or MIC. So many opportunities. His approach to education was not the British exclusionary one, where, oh, you went to Oxford or you went to Cambridge, you felt superior. It was the American model, which was inclusionary, and to bring as many people to the table and use as many of our abilities, whether it is the Arthur Lockjack School of Business, UTT. And, for that, he is to be commended for what he did for Trinidadians and Tobagonians. I know an example. Can I just say that when my daughter was studying abroad, her American friends could not believe that tertiary education was almost free in Trinidad. They could not believe it because a lot of what's a big issue in America is student debt. Students carrying debt for years and years. And we never had that experience. And we are a little island of 1.4 million people. It is just amazing the accomplishments that we had. And I think for one thing, he must be recognized for his contribution to making a knowledge economy, to giving people the opportunity to advance themselves.
Now, to expand on what you just said, right, we're going to get into what we actually, call here for tonight. But, these people in each other's, just ask question quick. They said, Mr. Nunez, what is your opinion of the P&M now from the time in the P&M undermanning?
See, this is the thing that always causes me difficulty because I speak how I see things, and I can't say some of what I say comes from the fact that I was in there, and many of the persons who are the top positions, or even not at the top positions, are persons that I would have served with. So, what do I think? I think, and it is my clarion call, and I hope to be carrying this message again and again and again. I've started it. Is that the PNM of today, in my respectful opinion, is more concerned with facilitating the 5%, or however much percent you want to call it, at the top. And we know from Reaganomics, from Thatcher, from the Milton Friedman School, University of the Chicago Boys, we know that theory of trickle-down economics doesn't work, meaning that, if we give them money and they make money, then the money trickles down, everybody gets a piece of the pie. Well, in Trinidad and Tobago, one of the questions that I have is that this government seems more concerned with putting in place policies that only the wealthy or those who already have can participate, and legislation that facilitates them. And examples would be the public-private partnership. First of all, have to have land. And there was a study done, if you want to look at because I got called by the gentleman, and then he had to retreat because I said, go and read the central bank report of so and so. There's an article on private-public partnerships and why it doesn't work, and so he had to quietly retreat because he seemed to want to go somewhere else with me with that conversation. But in any event, the private-public partnerships, the procurement legislation is shame. It is there that only facilitates and does not allow for transparency and accountability. And that's most contracts are government contracts. Let's get real. Most of the big multi-million-dollar contracts are government contracts. All right. And the procurement legislation has taken away the transparency that the central board ordinance did not have. You hearing anybody at the top echelons complaining? No. The gambling, everybody knows that's money laundering. Everybody knows that. But everywhere in Trinidad, in fact, the Minister of Finance about 4 years ago in his speech, or 5 years ago, said Trinidad had the most private members clubs in the whole world. And and that was about 5 years ago. Who do you think owns them? Who do you think owns them? And then you talk about the revenue authorities. Don't get me started on them, because you're asking me. I was the Financial Intelligence Unit. Who do you have there? Anybody they'd be afraid to do anything. I'd be afraid to be the head of the FIU. You have to get somebody from the States, someone who has a proven track record, which is what Mr. Manning was doing. And then when they were talking the big building nonsense, all these local contractors talking that. But you know what? They don't mind the 5% renting the 2 billion to the government. Every government in Port of Spain or in the outskirts sitting down there and making money renting to our government, to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, just sitting down there making money like that. And by the way, those same people with multi-million intergenerational wealth, how do they invest in our country? Does the government say, you can't be using up our foreign exchange like that? You can't be doing retail, selling this, selling that, selling this, and using up my foreign exchange. You need to be involved in production. How much coffee shops must we have in this country? We have 12 Starbucks in this country. Who is making, and what is the minimum wage in this country? When they talk about employment, you understand this. European CPEP are included. And for the last 2 years, because of the COVID, you could not work more than 8 days a month and you get it going home at $780, but they continue as employed. $1,750, you could have been better off back in the day. At least you used to take care of you and your child, right? But what they want is a cheap source of labor. And this government sits down there and allows that. And people then cannot make it because this salary cannot buy food, housing, and transport, basic needs. So why are you calling it employment, right? They get involved in the informal sector. What the government should be doing is focusing on the micro and small entrepreneurs, not just paper after paper after paper after paper, report after report after report collecting dust. Start focusing on them and creating real opportunities for them for the Chow Kings. I know you know the story. Leave the Coffee Kings alone. Let the Chow Kings get a piece of the thing, because this is our country. It doesn't belong to them. It is ours. And this government, what it does, in my respectful opinion, it may not have started off like that because with the subsidies cannot mind anybody. But what it could do is keep you in a vicious cycle of poverty, out of which you cannot climb out of. And then you are called a zessa and a cockroach. But the government, leave the 5%. They have money card done. You give them every opportunity and more. They don't need your help. What you need to do now is focus on the micro, the Chow Kings and the small entrepreneurs, and create business opportunities and implement it. And that's my feeling of this PNM government. And those who want to be vexed with me, many of them are the people who are suffering from the same government. But they cannot, but because they don't want to admit that is the truth, many of them, and by the way, you know what is called unemployment? Unemployment is when you stop looking for jobs. But guess what? You know how many people stop looking for non-existent jobs? And yet they say employment rate is 4.6. That is not true. I want to see what the real employment data is. I want to see what is underemployment. I want to see a connection between employment and my ability to eat, not any fancy thing, eat, help myself, and transport. Right? I want to see that. And people who sit on there and taking it as if it is their role in life, to be the clerks to the lawyers, to be the nurses to the doctors, to be the security to the businessmen. If that is God designed them for that role, and that is what they are entitled to in this life, that they have no self-worth. This government has done very little, in my respectful opinion, to help these how many people to really have a sense of bringing them out of things. You have to tell them for a while, but make them entrepreneurs. We have too many talented people in this country, right? But only they must get.
Karen, it's interesting that you say that, right? Because when we look at, when you look at money laundering, right? Gary, welcome. When you look at money laundering, right? I see that the DSS, Karen Clark, founder of the Jock Susu, was granted bail in the sum of $80,000 with a surety by Justice of the Peace Stephen Young after he was charged with 4 counts of money laundering, right? That was on June 1st, 2020. And I'm asking myself, Karen, the DSS founder is the kingpin of money laundering in Trinidad and Tobago?
How did I can't say that at all. What I want you not to do, Anselm,
the question.
what I want you to do, Anselm, because you
Yeah,
asked me that as a former minister. A lot
yeah.
of times, and I mean no disrespect, I just understand that.
Mm.
My perspective on the issues of Trinidad will never be for a particular individual or for a particular thing, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to go down that line and get lost and go down the rabbit hole, go down the foxhole, and you forgot what you're really focusing on. I am saying to you that you asking what's the difference with the PNM of today? The PNM of Mr. Manning, when we had 3/5 majority, unfortunately, called elections early. I do not know the answer. I really don't, unfortunately. But we would have had a revenue authority, and it would have been able to deal with a lot of the drugs in this country. We would have had, you see, he's the one responsible for the Ministry of Education and AG, that big government plaza. That's Mr. Manning, the big building there against. Because you know why? When you put the big building, you stop paying them rent. And they have buildings that all they put up there is for the government to rent, right? And now we living in a virtual world where most people can work from home. They should be reducing the accommodation costs and let people operate from home. There's a way to do it and have rent out certain amount of space for meetings every 2 weeks or whatever. But if they did that, all of those landowners who own the whole of Port of Spain will lose their easy money. And what do? All they're doing is buying and selling for you, buying and selling, buying and selling. When they go and set up their KFCs and the Starbucks and all of these things, what do you think they're using? They're using our scarce. You know why Sri Lanka's economy collapsed? You know why Lebanon's economy collapsed? They had no foreign exchange. They had no foreign exchange. So nobody wants our monopoly money. They want U.S. money. But what you do with my U.S. money? You giving license for these people to set up businesses that are not good for your health, that puts up your health bill because they get non-communicable diseases. Like we have high levels of diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease from eating diets that are not good for us, importing these franchises in this country, paying those workers, the women or men sometimes, next to nothing wages that cannot mind a child except them, and if they can mind them, and then allowing them to come in here, use up my foreign exchange, and then pay the franchise holder, and then you want to tell me they care about my country? And this government is sitting on there and allowing that to happen. They set up the 12th what you call it, Starbucks. It's so huge. Everybody was talking about it in the airport.
In the airport.
Right? Mm-hmm. Why don't we focus as Jamaica did? They focus on selling their patties, the doubles. We can start packaging it. We can start packaging the chocolate, the cocoa. There's so many things we can start packaging. We can start building and giving these purposes an opportunity. But is the government doing it? All they're asking is, they're asking Anthony Watkins, who I like very much, by the way, Anthony Watkins to do a study on COVID for those children living in, the Laventille mover, very well knowing why they have a problem. If you don't want to address the root problem, all you're doing is pruning and making fools of these people. So if people want to be vexed with me because I take this position, I am not a supporter of the UNC. You have ever heard me go to a UNC meeting? Not one. Have I ever tuned in a UNC? Not one. Not one. I am not a UNC. I am not a thing. I love my country, and it hurts me as I sit down, because I know a lot of the players and I understand a little bit of the politics, and I understand a lot of the players also. Eventually you get to know who they are and the relationships. And it hurts me to see that this government depends on those same people at the bottom of the thing who make up the largest percentage of people in our country. And what are you doing for them? What are you really doing for them? I will say one thing before I let you think. Let me just say one thing, because I want to be fair. Mm-hmm. I know Foster Cummins is in a lot of trouble. I'm not getting into the Foster Cummins issue. I'm not dealing with that. But one thing I was very appreciative was that Foster come in with the youth development. 200 persons were selected to do the agro industry, and then they do 1 year of academics and then 1 year of clinical, and they get a certificate. Now, if they follow through with things like that, and then give them the financing to start up the business, show them how to package, that sort of thing, help them. The ones at the top don't need your help anymore.
Karen, let me get to a question here in the chat. The question says, question to Miss Karen, as the court dismissed the AG who is representing the state now because no law firm cannot represent the state? I kind of understand the question, but I don't know if you understand it.
I'm not so sure if I understand that. What he's probably saying is that what he's saying is that go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just about to say that Reginald Amore, who is a friend of mine, personally, not see him all the time, but I consider him a friend of mine. I have a lot of respect for him. He's extraordinarily likable. When we were at Lower Caville, I don't know if he was president of the student body, but even if he weren't, he certainly was one of the people that everybody liked. And he never changed. That demeanor in him never changed. He's also a very brilliant person. So he's not one of those persons that didn't earn their senior counsel designation. And to be called a senior counsel, there's no way he cannot remember the time, because that is the highest accolade that the profession can present to a member, to a lawyer, to be called senior counsel. And in fact, when you are in chambers with senior counsel, you don't call him Reggie or Mr. Amore, you say senior, because senior is that respect. So coming to the issue with Mr. Amore, it's a very unfortunate set of circumstances, but the fact of the matter is that he did work and did act for Brian Quaitung in his criminal matters in Trinidad, which are related to the exact same matters that are before the Miami court, except it's in its civil jurisdiction. But many of the facts, much of the evidence that would have been used in the criminal matter would obviously find its way in a civil jurisdiction, with the state trying to recoup some of its money, which it said that was misappropriated through bribery and corruption allegedly by Mr. Quaitung and Ishkal Baransing and Steve Ferguson. So the issue became that he had, and this is where he made the biggest mistake, this basic reason for his not having acted at all from the very beginning, the matter came over his desk from the very beginning, is because of that question of confidentiality. It is an absolute privilege. Your retainer with a client can come to an end, but the duty of confidentiality remains with you until death do you part. And that's for good reason, because when a client comes to you, he is going to tell you things that even his wife or children, those close to him, may not know. But he has to tell you if you're going to represent him well in court, because he certainly does not want to find himself in a situation where the other side has information and then suddenly they ask the question in cross-examination and you are caught on your legs, not knowing how to respond, and then you ask your client, but why you didn't tell me that? Well, I didn't know they were going to find that out. No. So there must be that absolute duty of confidentiality. It is an unqualified duty, so that when Mr. Amore acted as counsel for Brian Quaitung and I believe another one of the defendants in the criminal proceedings, he was bound by that absolute duty of confidentiality. And the courts recognize that even though you may think that you are able to make the separation, they say you could, and their case law on it. There's a very famous case, it's an accounting case, but it's very famous, Prince Balke versus KPMG. It said you may by accident, not or inadvertence, slip and reveal confidential information that was given to you by your former client, which will be prejudicial to his case. And when you are a lawyer, when you do the code of ethics and you look at the code of ethics, it sets out the duties that a lawyer has. A lawyer has a duty to his client. A lawyer has a duty to the court as one of its officers. He's an officer of the court. A lawyer has a duty to his fellow lawyers to uphold the profession. And the lawyer has a duty to the public to maintain the administration of justice and for it to be held in the highest esteem. So that his duty, not only the duty to the client, which is it is a duty that he cannot, duty that he has an absolutely, it's unqualified. So that when Mr. Amor, senior counsel, was appointed Attorney General to deal with the Miami matter, which was a civil matter that the state was bringing against Mr. Kwaitang and I think Galbaran. I don't know if it's Galbaransi or Ferguson, but two of them. The point is, he had previously acted for that same Brian Kwaitang and defended him in Trinidad in criminal proceedings over which the same airport scandal, over which the same kinds of information would have been disclosed confidentially to him. So what happened? Miami courts disqualified the law firm that had acted for the state and disqualified the Attorney General. Why? Because he did, first of all, in his affidavit, an affidavit is giving witness, like if you're in the witness box, you know.
Yeah.
As if you sit in the witness box and they ask you those questions. And in his affidavit, as I understand it, that Mr. Ferguson, one of the parties who was not actually a defendant, but certainly could give evidence, he said that Mr. Amor was a senior counsel since 2003. He acted for Mr. Kwaitang in that matter from 2005 to 2008 or 2004 to 2008. So there's no way he did not know that he was a senior counsel. He's a senior counsel, is a very serious thing. You know how many people want to be senior counsel and can't be? That's the height of your achievement as a lawyer, as an advocate. So one, that he in 2003 was a junior counsel. How could you say that when you know you had to know that was not true? And secondly, that you would just resign to the place of a note taker. No senior counsel is a note taker. What a senior counsel is, he has his set of lawyers, 3 or 4 of them, who take in notes, who doing all what they call the heavy lifting, who do all the research and bringing it to him, for him to look at it and determine, because he's going to be the advocate. So, and they brought evidence that in the magistrate's court, he cross-examined someone, like a witness, for Mr. Kwaitang. So it is such a mess. It is such a mess. So that affidavit is really what has put Mr. Amor in a very light, because it's one thing, it's gone Miami, and you said things that you had to know they were not true.
So Karen, should he then now resign as the Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, you know, there's always meeting. I'd say first, the Law Association would have had their meeting today. And I think a number of the members of the committee may be in a similar position in looking at the matter, because as you may know, Reginald Amor was a former president of the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago, not just very recently, actually. So I think the Law Association, he's a member of a body of persons, like how accountants belong and doctors. So I would want to hear what the Law Association view on the matter is. And I want to hear how they see it, because they don't have disciplinary power. They're just saying what they think on the matter as
if you had to give an opinion on the matter, what would your opinion as far as him, having to resign or step down?
As you know, it would be a very sad thing that if he had to, but it'd be a very sad thing because I think he is very unfortunate, and also too, he came into that situation. Let me just say before I answer you, because I'm thinking it out too. He also found himself in that situation. Not that he came and put himself, yes, I want to represent the state. Give me the brief. I want to do the brief. It wasn't a situation like that. He became the representative of the state by virtue of law. under the State Liability and Proceedings Act and by virtue of the Constitution, in particular Section 79(2), that says that any matter brought for or against the state in civil proceedings shall be brought in the name of the Attorney General. So what I am saying there is that I look at that as somewhat mitigating from the point of view that it is by virtue of the office he held, which was not very long ago. I don't think he anticipated that he would have been the Attorney General 6 months ago.
He could have recused himself, though. Couldn't he have recused himself? He could have recused himself.
Well, then, you see, the thing about recusing himself, I don't know if I could say recuse himself, but what he should have done immediately brought that to the attention of the Prime Minister and say, Prime Minister, this is a difficult situation here. Because he had already had discussion with the law firm before he recused himself. And so even before he attempted to recuse himself, some of the damage would have been done. And remember, the basis of the prohibition against him acting is because the duty of confidentiality is unqualified, absolute, and it transcends the termination of retainer. It follows you all through to the end of time. So all I am saying is that I want to hear what the Law Association has to say. I want to see if there's some way that it can be remedied, but it certainly looks very bad on his part, because on his part, the part that looks really very difficult for me to try to defend is for him to have gone an affidavit and say that he was a junior counsel in 2003 when he knew that could not be true. And if he didn't know that was not true, then he had to suffer from dementia or something, and he didn't know that. So he's either incompetent or was not speaking the truth. And then to say he was just taking notes, I mean, that is so not true. And that they had to bring this thing to show that he was you don't allow someone to cross-examine unless you have the skill sets for that. So it is that affidavit where he said things that he had to have known could not have been true, that I think is the difficulty he finds himself in. And he ended up
but Karen,
step
also
back.
right. But Karen, also right. So this is where I look at it, right? I'm not an attorney, but I look at it and say, if you recuse yourself after the fact, you know that you did something wrong.
All right, answer.
In his case, he didn't have to. What makes his own a little more troubling is a senior counsel and in the post of Attorney General, and in a case that has been before our courts for eons, the big corruption case, the Piarco scandal, and the names of Brian Quaitang, Ish Galbaran. I don't think they could go America, because if they go America, they will get the standing chance of being locked up, because everybody else who was in the cases serve their time and are out, and apparently they were prepared to come here and give evidence. So I don't feel that any three of them have made it to any American jurisdiction, because they stand the risk of being in prison. So it's a very serious matter, and my issue with it is that he failed in his duty as Attorney General, not only to his profession, not only to the thing, but to the public, because an Attorney General under our Constitution, as you well know, there are only two offices that must have to form a government, and that is in our Constitution. You must have a Prime Minister and you must have an Attorney General. Why? Because the Attorney General is the one, if you want, the Attorney General's department is when for most policies, whether it is property tax, whether it is revenue authority, whether it is gambling legislation, whatever it is, whether it's procurement legislation, it is the cabinet note. At the end of the cabinet note and finally the cabinet minute, the instructions are given to the Attorney General for the Attorney General's department, which is the drafting department, in which he got himself, Faris Al-Rawi got himself in a lot of hot water, to give instructions for the preparation of the bill to be taken to Parliament. So if you want laws to be passed, and Parliament is the ultimate court, and laws to become laws, the Attorney General plays a critical role in that. So his appointment is absolutely, you could appoint John Kwaku as Minister of, I don't know, anything you want to think of. But when it comes to AG, the Constitution says that you must have an Attorney General. And on that point, because of his role, when you go through history of the role of the Attorney General, because he's one minister that has a dual function. He has a duty to the government to advise it, but he also has a duty to the public to look after their interests. And it is that duality and that tension between the two roles that in United Kingdom, the Attorney General is not a member of cabinet, because we do not want them to have information which inadvertently, accidentally, they may use, which will not be in the interest of the country, but maybe in the interest of a politician. Not that I'm saying that is the case. So it's a serious matter. So you ask me, how would I end? I mean, he really is my friend, and I really think.
So do you think you should resign, or the I'm still asking you the question?
Yeah, no, you're asking that.
But answer before we get there.
Right?
You guys hear me?
Go ahead, Karen. 1 minute, Gary. Go ahead, Karen.
Yes, I keep hedging. Yeah,
you're hedging a lot. You're not
hedging.
You're not hedging.
Yeah, because because I told you things.
Go based on the law.
So I think he maybe should do the right thing and resign and not be asked to resign. I'm sorry that it had to end that way. But do you know something? No, this is me, the cynic in me. This is cynic in me. You know, justice delayed is justice denied. So after millions of dollars have been spent by this government, whichever government, to a law firm, sequel thing, who have been disqualified. They weren't recused, you know. The judge disqualified the AG. The judge disqualified the law firm. And now what are we doing in Trinidad? We say we don't have money, but guess what? They're going to appeal that decision of the Miami judge. So you know how long they're going to take? Another 10 years. Guess what? Already, two of the defendants, one, Mr. Martin, was murdered, allegedly by his spouse, and another defendant has died. So they're spending money got done, and justice denied is justice delayed is justice denied. So we may never ever see the end of that airport matter. If we go ahead to appeal to the High Court, Court of Appeal, Privy Council, we come back around, and it goes on and on and on, and money spending and nobody in jail.
But you see, Karen, Gary, I'm gonna get to you. But Karen, I just wanted to stay right. I'm not an attorney, but when I look at all the information and all the facts, I think he should do the honorable thing and resign. I agree with you. I agree with you that, you know, what happened here for senior counsel, he can't get the best of this. He just can't get out of this. There's no way to wiggle out of this, you know, and I don't think he should have put the prime minister in a position for the prime minister to have to tell him that he have to go. You know what I mean? I just think, and I know you with your friendship with him, but you are speaking based on the information. You are not speaking out of turn, so to speak, but you are just speaking based on the information in front of you. And if I had to look at that information too, I will say the same thing.
Yeah, Ansel, I'm approaching top of the hour.
This is what my thing is, and I want to say not only a friend, but I also consider him a very honorable person, and it is but I try to be objective and fair. And in being objective and fair, I have told you that I know him. I told you how I think of him personally, but what he did, I don't know how he can get out of it. So yes, he probably has to do that.
Top of the hour.
So Karen, stick with us for a little bit. We're gonna go for a quick station identification. Folks, it's in the village to the dark triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We're with us, former Minister of Finance, Mrs. Karen Nunez-Tesheira. She has joined us tonight. So let's go for a quick station identification. We'll be right back after this. Stick and stay, don't go nowhere. It's in the village to the dark triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
We are back with you. It's in the village with the Dark Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We have with us in the village tonight, no other than no stranger to the village, Mrs. Karen Nunez-Tesheira. And one thing I got to say about Karen, she's always very straightforward with us, and she calls a spade, and she tells it as she sees it. And some people may not like it, but there is a lot of people that don't like certain things as well. Gary, did you want to say something?
I would like to believe that according to what I'm hearing around the tongue,
95.9 FM, Maplewood, New Jersey.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. That was just the thing playing. That's the automatic. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I would like to think that deliberately misleading the United States court is a felony in the United States. Am I right or wrong, Mr. Shearer?
Well, I don't know if I don't know the American law, but deliberately misleading are very strong words. And when you use words like deliberate, it's like fraud. The standard of proof is much higher than the normal standard of proof. So you have to show intent, and you have to be able to show the intent on the part of the individual that he set out to do that. And I don't think we need to go down that road. I think.
Well, that is the obvious, that he mislead the court.
Yeah, but we don't have to go down the road of talking about felony and so on and going down that road. I don't think we have to hype it up like that. What we could say is, should he still be in that role or should he not? And why shouldn't he be? Because he has brought the profession into some level of disrepute. As Attorney General, he has also put the confidence of the people with whom he, as Attorney General, they must entrust him as Attorney General. He has also put that in a very precarious position. And for that and that only, unfortunately, that I can assure you, persons like Mr. Moore, who have spent their whole life as lawyers, to whom the lawyer profession means a lot, I can assure you that if he does resign, it will be a very, very bitter pill for him to swallow, because for the rest of his life, and even at the end, they will mention that, and that is not what he would want.
But in the blink of an eye, your career went down the drain because you embarrassed your country internationally.
Well, yeah. So we understand
by your course of action.
Yeah. I think we prosecuted it enough, because we don't want to come across as being. At least I hope you don't want to come across as being overly I don't know.
The truth is the truth. We can't be around that.
We're not arguing about the truth, but we are arguing about. I think that in the case of the Attorney General, I already said that he can't say that he didn't know that he was senior counsel. I mean, that's impossible to believe. He cannot say that he was just note-taking. It's impossible to believe. I think I have demonstrated very clearly that what he says, he could not have believed what he was saying in the affidavit.
Yeah, but that is not between me and you and Trinidad and Tobago. He said that publicly in an international court, which I think is what the damage is really our main concern here.
Gary, at the end of the day,
what damages will be that?
At the end of the day, if he resigns from the position, that's what most people want to know. Most people want him to resign. And when certain things happen...
You did a survey then?
Yeah.
I said you did a survey?
Oh, Ansem, you're walking in
I hear people on your radio station, on your famous radio station, defending what he did,
Well, I don't know which radio station is famous, because if I am not a guest at any time. You can't.
He does be fighting with certain people.
Statistics and damn statistics. So don't be, if you start going on that road, most people, you can't say most people, and this is very politically charged. We already came to the conclusion that he should resign. So I don't know what else you want to prosecute the matter for. We already agreed that what he did was wrong. We said why it was wrong, how he had put his profession, his duty to the court, the duty to the people of Trinidad and Tobago as Attorney General. We already said he wears two hats, and he owes not only a duty to the government, he's not only a political animal, but he's also a defender of the people. And that is by virtue of the legislation. So I think we have properly prosecuted the matter or persecuted the matter to say that yes, he should do the honorable thing and resign, because the longer he stays there, it is not going to go away. And if by chance the government does not make him resign after the Miami court disqualified him, they didn't say he refused, disqualified him, and he stays there, that is, that is giving fodder to any opposition to the government to say that they do not stand for anything of, people may already be of that view. They do not.
Well, the government big and bad in Trinidad, you know. The big and bad, you can't tell them nothing. And the chest off.
But there you go. There you go. And
Karen,
them at the end of the day, you know.
I have a question, Karen.
Yes,
constitutionally, should he have to resign? How does that does that create a constitutional crisis for Trinidad and Tobago? What happens?
I don't think that's a constitutional crisis. I think right now, behind the scenes, as we speak, there's a flurry of activity going on, and the advice of very senior counsels have been sought on the matter to decide, well, one, if he's going to resign, then we'll have to appoint another attorney. Just like how they did with Faris. Faris Al-Rawi came to a meeting to tell, and Faris is another person I like, and I actually taught him at law school, so it's nothing personal. I find myself in these positions. But Faris Al-Rawi came to cabinet to tell them that he wrote a letter against the head of the drafting department, Ian McIntyre. He wrote it, and for him, to the Judicial and Legal Service Commission, for them to take disciplinary action against him for refusing to carry out instructions of the Attorney General. And then he was informed, hello, you're no longer the AG.
Oh, no.
Come to get you on your chuckle.
There was a crisis. There was no crisis. No, what? Now the thing is, they didn't. You know that movie called Moving On Up. Well, somehow they couldn't move him out, so they move him across.
No, why I asked that question is because of the Police Service Commission issue. If it would result in something like that, you know what I mean? And who would be? Yeah. So I was just asking that question.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not the same thing. These are political appointments, cabinet appointees. Yes, and it is the Prime Minister who chooses his cabinet, and now he appoints and disappoints. So Faris Al-Rawi wasn't aware that he had been disappointed and reappointed elsewhere, and I don't think there was any crisis. The issue with the Police Service Commission is a different issue with Barry Griffith, and what our president has become very silent. President was very silent, and then the Prime Minister saying, I did not have influence at all. But yes, I was there the same day that that the chairman of the Police Service Commission. And by the way, I know all of them, Trot and all. This is the unfortunate thing. I know nearly all of them. But for some reason, the president and I were in class together at law school. So you have a view of people. Let's just say.
I have a question though. I have a question. How did this case end up in the United States court when it was a Trinidad and Tobago affair?
Because I think it was, remember, it's not a Trinidad and Tobago affair, only Burke something.
Another company up here.
The one that was an American company.
There was a company in this
Okay.
Right, that gave them jurisdiction.
That's how it ended up in the United States of America.
Yeah, so that's why.
So, Karen, I want to ask you a question. Karen, can't we see you as a candidate in the upcoming PNM internal election for any position?
Well, let me just tell you. I will tell you. It's up to you to believe me or not to believe me, and your listeners also. I can assure you that I did not want to, and I am positive at some point in time, maybe not immediately, but at a certain point in time, they certainly did not want me to be part of the government. And I know that I could not have made it because I am too outspoken and I am not going to sit down there. I'm sorry, that's my personality. to sit down there and participate in anything that I think is wrong. They did not pay me enough money. I have children. I have my family's name, and I'm not going to participate in anything that I don't think is correct. When you have, so let's just put it this way, it's very unlikely. I would not be part. I would not. I would not fit in. I would not be a good fit. I definitely not a good fit.
Well, Karen, you wouldn't be a good fit for Dr. Rowley slate, but wouldn't you be a good fit for another slate?
I don't know. Well, you see, you know what's the thing about politics, which of course, when you get in it, before I was not involved in politics, really, I just used to play I used to play the note taker role of the.
Okay.
And in other words, I do the walk arounds. I would send out pamphlets and things like that. You know, I got involved that way. You know, that was my introduction. But what I will tell you is this is what is I know. You don't stand, as Eric Williams said, you could put a, well, of course, I don't think that's really as true now, but it's just to say you could put a crapo in a tie and you will win. That's the back in the days PNM. But what he's really speaking to is the level of party loyalty. So even if they may like someone or feel that person may be a good candidate or could bring value, if that person is not in a position within the party structure, there's no room for them to be there unless they are selected to be a member of parliament for a seat that they will win. So what they will do, and I know they've done it with one or two people that had too much ambition for their own good. That's my view anyhow. Can't prove it. I think they made sure that they gave them no position within the party machinery, so there would be no opportunity for them to challenge whoever is in the party, whoever is at the head of the party. So you have to be in the party. Don't fool yourself and be independent. Don't try that. It's not going to work too far. The independent thing, they will tell you, yes, boy, we will support you. Yeah, boy, we're behind you. Yes. And then day of election, you get 4 votes, and it knows your whole family vote for you.
Karen,
but Karen, I see many crappos sitting in Parliament.
Right, and that is why, because they are in the party, they are in the party, and they kept quiet. Some of them kept quiet, said nothing, bided their time, did not say anything negative, and played the long game. And once they behaved themselves and said nothing, and they could add value, they say, okay, boy, you could come in now. You spend enough time outside there or wherever it is, you got to come in. But when you come in, you don't go and rock the boat, you know, because I could appoint and I could disappoint. And especially if you come in as a senator. Well, now you can't even say you are MP. You out. And that is the reality. And when you come out, you are, both parties do it. You are blacklisted. You know, when we lost the election, I saw what happened to people who were in government with me. I mean, their situation was, it was an eye-opener for me. Their financial situation, what they gave up. I had to pull out myself and go to Barbados and go and teach, thank God. Well, I see I have Diana say she wouldn't mind coming to a class of mine. So I was
I would be a number 1 student.
Right. So I
was
a senior lecturer at the Faculty of Law for 4 years in Barbados when there was only one Faculty of Law. If I didn't have that option, I would have been in trouble too. And thank God, I may not have a lot of money, but I didn't have to go kappa begging and say, could you give me a chairmanship? No. Or you could give me no. For you to come and file me the next week as minister, and the minister to call me in as chairman and put me up.
But Karen, I would make a good lawyer though. I'm telling you now. I wouldn't make a good lawyer.
Don't say that.
No. But we could continue. You could be part of the diaspora in the sense of fighting for Trinidad and Tobago with the diaspora.
But I will tell you the truth. I will be honest with you. If I could be part of a team that was really committed to Trinidad and Tobago, that was not carrying the baggage that many of them, I believe, carry, that do not have a lot of skeletons in their closet, some of which I may know. Some of them I have spoken, not what you're thinking of, but some others that you may not be thinking of at all, but some of others that you may not even be thinking of. And when you have had experience with some of these people that's sitting inside of there, you don't want to go inside there.
But what I'm referring to is it has been an objective, but Diana and Ansem has joined me in this. I mean, the station here, we've been doing that, is to bring a global diaspora team together, where I think we could have a greater voice.
All right.
This is what I'm talking about, including people like yourself.
Yes.
Which is across in the UK, in the United States, wherever
I'd be
they
happy
are.
to do that.
And we're using this station as a communicating platform.
Yes,
So
I'll be happy to do that.
This is what my objective is, that you see, because I think we need a greater voice to really put the pressure that we need on the government, whether it's UNC, PNM, PDP, or whoever they are.
Yeah, I will be happy to do that. Before I go, though, because I wasn't supposed to say so long.
Yeah. Well, we love you so much.
I want to just say one thing. I give the Prime Minister 100% marks for what he said at the conference of Summit of Americas in Los Angeles on June the 6th. I have heard many people on a WhatsApp that I am part of, a lot of the thinkers and intellectuals, who said, oh, what he said, he didn't say anything different. Not at all. If I could say one thing, he's showing tremendous vision when it comes to the energy sector. If you live in America, you see how Biden going Saudi Arabia after he called the Prince of a pariah. You see that Biden is talking about opening up shuttered refineries in Texas. You are seeing that the America is allowing ENI, Italian oil company, and Repsol, a Spanish oil company, to buy oil from Venezuela and sell it to Europe in order to take off some of their debt. You are seeing America right now, the biggest bugbear that your president has is the inflation is not caused because people have no jobs. The inflation is what they call demand pull. When you have too much demand because of all of whatever, we can't go into it now. But the point is, his big problem is that energy price. And I am telling you that our Prime Minister is reading that play, and we are not getting the most from the oil and gas because we don't have the production. We don't have production. But if we can get through, I am sure Maduro and the Dragon Field will be right back on stream. And we feel in the petrochemical industry where methanol, urea, and all those prices are going through the roof. So I just want to say to the Prime Minister, I criticize you and say things about your government, but I want to say 100% you have made the right call for calling on easing up the position with Cuba and Venezuela, because you are reading the play. You understand that this thing is not going to turn around in a hurry, and that right now Biden is under a lot of pressure to bring down the inflation rate caused by the price of oil at the price of gas at the petrol station.
But Karen,
so I give him a blind.
Karen, can the government of the United States take that as being Dr. Rowley being on the side of the enemies of the United States of America?
Well, I don't know if you followed our history, but Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm sure many other Caribbean islands, have always stood firm with Cuba, for sure, or even Bay of Pigs uprising. The missile crisis, we have always stood firm in unanimity with Cuba. And with regard to Venezuela, Trinidad refused, our Prime Minister, and I have to give him credit for that. They were putting pressure on him, the United Nations, to declare the Venezuelans coming to Trinidad, who were getting themselves involved in a lot of crime, I must say. That's beside the point. To declare them refugees. And you know why he would not do that? because he knew that if he said they were refugees, it means that they were escaping political persecution. And it would mean that Maduro's government is an illegitimate government and he's persecuting his people. And he refused to give them the status of refugee. So our prime minister, I will say, hats off to him for what he said in the Summit of Americas, where the whole world was listening, and he's seeing the play. Europe cannot do without Russian gas. And by the way, Russia has still continued to sell their gas and oil to China and India. And you know what America is most afraid of? Russia, China, and India becoming the next superpowers. So I am telling you, give your prime minister the kudos for standing up and taking a position, which our country has always done. Although we small, we talawa.
But Karen, that point you just raised.
But I have to go now, you know.
Huh?
Karen, I want to ask one question before Karen goes.
We got to bring her back. We got to bring her back.
Go ahead, Tony. Quickly, go ahead.
Karen, I want to know if you believe that, based on all the circumstances that have occurred over the last few years, if we are ready for a new dispensation other than the PNM and UNC in Trinidad for governance.
What we need is leadership, a change in leadership.
Yeah,
because what the PNM stands for and what is its founding principles remain. But it's like, you know, people have to understand the role of a leader. Trump has turned the Republican Party upside down. And we could say the good and the bad. When we look at Nazi Germany with Hitler, when we look at Mussolini in Italy, when we look at Castro in Cuba, which I might say in a positive light, what do? They kill Martin Luther King. They kill Malcolm X. You know why? Because they understand, and the world understands, it is the leader. Once the leader is taken out, the movement comes to an end. So to answer your question, I think the answer will be in the change of leadership, especially for the PNM party.
I agree. As a matter of fact, Karen, I have gone on record of calling for the PNM. I'm not saying Dr. Rowley need to go as the prime minister.
He has to go. Yes. Absolutely. He only working for them 5%.
Yeah, but Karen,
I don't care what he don't care.
Karen, hear me out though. Karen,
yes.
I think that Dr. Rowley is going to serve out his term to 2025 unless something drastic happens, right? Where he has to call a snap election. So I am saying to the PNM people, there's an internal election coming up soon. What they need to do is to find a new leader for the party, right?
They won't do it.
If they concentrate on trying to get rid of Dr. Rowley now as the prime minister, right? It's going to fail. It's going to fail. So to me,
they're not going to be able to do it. You know why? I'll tell you why I think.
Yeah.
You know, the best blessing for the PNM is the UNC. Because people have a sense of hopelessness, you know. You see, at one time back in the day, when NAR, one of the reasons NAR became so popular was people said, oh God, there's hope for this country. There's a rainbow, the ONR, you know, they believe that people want that, you know. People want that, you know. They would love to have that, right? 33-3 didn't happen just so, you know. But the problem now is, you look at the UNC and Kamala will not step down. You see who she has there, you know, it's the same old. And some people say which one would? But I will say this. They are also afraid, both parties, whether it is UNC or PNM, to go against the leader. They're also afraid to do that. So we have to wait till Dr. Rowley is no longer there, and look for a new leader for the PNM who's really committed. In my view, a Patrick Manning.
Yeah, I want to say that we can't wait that long. I think it has to be done now. Somebody's going to contest. And the same thing I said for the UNC too. For somebody to contest Mrs. Kamala Prasad-Busesa, because I say both of them got to go. That's what I said. I said both of them got to go as leaders of the UNC and the PNM, and I'm going to continue saying that. Right?
Okay. We agree, but I don't hope, but I'm not holding much hope But I think the problem is with the leadership. And if I have to talk about party for party, PNM has done so much for this country. And in terms of education, the petrochemical industry, LNG, you name it, the greatest contributions to the development of our country has come from the PNM. They have made mistakes, but that's what happens when you're in power for so many years. And if I had to choose between the two, in the short little time that the UNC was there, boy, it was like what you call it when you're going through a thing and it just spins around, a door, a revolving door. There was a revolving door of ministers having to be fired, from Anand Ram Logan, who I have nothing against, or Jack Warner, to Gary Griffith, to Mary Wills. I mean, it was a revolving door. She must have had to fire about 20 people.
Well, I think we had to discuss this. We wanted to come back, but I think she was very weak in that Dr. Oli had to growl at her and she jumped and makes that decision.
No, you know what she did? And this is why now you see all those people who say, oh, but they can't say I'm UNC, because they know they never heard me say anything and they never see me in a meeting or anything. So they can't say that. But you know what? You know why it was terrible what she did? Because I used to keep a note of it. She never took action against a minister until the newspaper brought it out. I never saw her fire a minister or call a minister to resign until it was brought out in the public domain. And then all of a sudden, she never took the initiative. And so in other words, if we never found out, they'd all still be there.
Well.
Okay, so I did enough damage for the day. And I had a good time, and I hope I was helpful.
To come back.
And I spoke my mind. So we will continue the discussion. Diana, you will be my first student, okay?
Okay, will do. But I don't think I'll make a good lawyer.
Don't worry about that. Don't let that fight. Don't get worried about that. I will be a good teacher. Don't worry.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
All right. And we all had a great time. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
You're welcome.
Right. Bye-bye. Let me see how I get out.
So there we have it, folks.
You hear that? You hear that? She had a great time.
Anytime people come in the village, we always make sure that they have a good time, and it's a lot of respect for them in the village, and the thing about it is that we want people to come and speak their minds, By the way, folks, Martin George just sent me a message. He said he had an emergency and he couldn't come into the village. We're going to try to reschedule him for Thursday. All right. So he had a schedule, and he had an emergency, and we're going to try to schedule him for Thursday. So, listen, that's the good thing about Karen. When Karen comes, she speaks truth to power. And that's what I tell people. Some people may not like what she has to say, but at least she's being honest, right? And some people may want to talk about all other kind of things, with respect to, what happened with CL Financial and all these other things. But, but she said,
you just can't change a leader, right? You just can't perform head surgery or head transplant and the rest of the body still stinking and rotting. You have to clean house.
Gary, but look what happened to the Republican Party. It's falling apart under Trump. So they realize they have to change Trump.
They have to change the leader. You can't go and change. All right, Gary, you go and fix that. You fix that thumb. You fix that toe. When people have diabetes.
No, I don't disagree. Listen to me. Yes, I am not saying not to change the leader. What I'm saying is we need more than that, just changing the leader. And we need a leader. When we do change a leader, the leader is strong enough to dictate that change, to delegate that change, to transition that change that we're calling for, not just go there and occupy a seat. It is not good enough just to change the leader. We need a complete transition.
Yeah, but Chris, you're being unfair to Karen. Eh? Chris says Karen condemned the UNC easy, but not the AG. She have integrity, right? No, she didn't. She said.
Well, she's a PNL. She must do that anyway.
But she said. No, Diana told me, and Gary, did I miss something?
Go ahead.
Whether
she said yes, he should resign.
Either person from either political party will not go hard against the party, no matter how much.
No, but no. Karen goes hard against you. I'm sorry. Karen goes hard.
Yeah, she goes out. But what I'm saying to you, compared to the other party, they will still, vice versa, they all do the same thing. But anyway, she was good. She was wonderful. I mean, I love her to death.
Yeah.
And
So you have Money Roberts now. Karen also has a beef with the PNM.
Oh boy.
And they'll put a nail in a coffin. I mean,
not only beef, she might have a pork and a turkey.
But I'm accused of the same thing. I have a beef with the PNM. Yeah, I have a beef with the PNM. I can't get the building fixed in Chumakak. Why not? I can't get 3 buildings painted in Chumakak. Why not?
You need more than 3 buildings. You need more than 3 buildings painted with as much as suffering with the community.
This is not for Anselm Libon. This is for the community. A dire community. And people always want to talk about, you only talking about the building. What I'm just talking about.
Oh God.
Also, Anthony, 11 till the Wall Street project got shelved.
That gets shelved. 11 till the Wall Street Empowerment Center. That gets shelved. Look how much things get shelved. Right? And they don't want to talk. And they wanted to condemn David Mohammed the other day because he said his statement, Kamala Prasad wasn't racist. They condemn every of them. All of them, one set of them come out. Boy, if you see them, they come out and they're attacking him left, right, and center. The man said it was insensitive and she crossed the line. But it's, I don't hear them, and I said this before, I don't hear them fighting for things in their community. All of them. I didn't hear them fight for when they were all that sewer water in the bottom. I knew one of them. It had one have a program called 2 Guns, 1 Shot. She had a program on 91.9 called 2 Guns, 1 Shot. Is it that's what it is? 2 Guns, 1 Shot. Whatever the name of the program is. Right?
1 shot,
the former UNC who turned PNM. Right? She was at UNC and then she come PNM. Or was she at ILP? Nah, she was at UNC. Then she come over to the PNM.
Who's that?
You know more than everything else. You damn good enough.
Who are you talking about?
Was it 1 shot, 1 kill or something?
Oh, 1 shot.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. I think that's what it is, Tommy. 1 shot, 1 kill. 1 shot. Yeah, that's what it is. I thought it was 2 gun, 1 shot. Whatever it is. I get the program on Union. Yeah, she used to be defending the PNM. UNC and cussing the PNM. Let me go solo for now.
Who are you talking about, Sam? Who are you talking about?
1 shot, 1 kill. What is she name? Ulrich. I think she name start with a J. What is she name?
JD.
What is she name?
JD.
Gary, JD, she... Already go tell me. Right? She used to be at UNC and she used to cuss the PNM left, right, and center. Cussing the PNM. Oh, God, if you see cuss the PNM. She had a yellow jersey, a yellow hair tie, a yellow sock, a yellow sneakers, a yellow petticoat, a yellow shoes. Everything was yellow, boy. Yellow so far. Cuss the PNM. And then all of a sudden, when the UNC kicked you out, kicks you to the curb, she come back, run into the PNM, and now she cussing the UNC. Them?
Wait. No, I don't think the UNC kicked she out. I think she betrayed the UNC. After she loaded up she pocket.
She betrayed? Oh, look, record she. Julia Davy, she name. I don't
Lord.
Julia Davy. That's the one. You should be cussing the PNM, right? Cussing them. And now all of a sudden, she back in the PNM now. She red, boy. Red, she great as the PNM. Yeah, she great as the PNM now. Them. I ever go in any other party? Never see Wall Street in any other party? Never see Wall Street in any other party? Them to talk? Can't talk. Them can't talk. Them all about the place. Yeah, some of them like mango. They're green on the outside and yellow on the inside. Which one is green? Like ILP. Yeah, ILP.
You have somebody? Wait, say ILP?
ILP. My partner, Dominic Roman, on the mock we see. What's it called, the program? A morning program. I forget the name of it. But Dominic have your own program on Sunday called Baking with Dominic Roman. Right? And I want to say condolences to Dominic Romain on the passing of his sister. Dominic, you know me and you just go at it, but I want to send you condolences on the passing of your sister. He's a good brother. He's a good brother, right? And listen to this. Only listen to this one. It have a fella that be calling the 91.9 radio program. I tell them wicked and evil, you know. That man calling and asking why Dominic wasn't in a program on Sunday. Dominic gonna bury his sister Monday, you know. You know them wicked and evil boy. That man calling a program to tell Iowa George, Iowa, all you have to tell we when nobody coming on the program, you know. And Dominic the Thursday before you go, tell the people, all you, I ain't think I come, and I shouldn't be defending Dominic Romain, eh? I shouldn't, eh? But I am, right? Dominic Romain, tell the people, and I went to the program. I said, boy, nah, boy. And that fella is a PNM, you know. He's a PNM, you know. He's a PNM, and he threw Dominic Romain under the bus. And I come out and I defend Dominic Romain. Dominic Romain told the people on Thursday, I'm not sure if I'm going to be in the program on Saturday, on Sunday, because I have to go and write the eulogy for my sister. I have a lot of work to do. And you go call a program and telling them, boy, I ain't see Dominic Romain in the program. Iowa, you need to tell people when them fellas ain't coming in the program and you're wicked and evil.
Oh, boy.
Evil. The man grieving. And you want to talk about what? Come and talk about program and you should call. Oh, boy, all you. Look. Boy, let me go and drink some red shandy, eh? And mind my business.
I want Shandy to make it talk people business.
Eh?
Shandy to make it talk people business.
Make me talk people business?
Yeah. Drink Morby, maybe then you won't.
Look. Albert Montano signed on no party. Albert, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you on a party, I better start your own answer.
Look, Joan, no party want to Wall Street, not even the party. I like a stray dog. Nobody want me. Yeah.
We will keep a Christmas party and invite you, don't worry.
Yeah, all you, let me tell all you, my wife love me, my son love me, my daughter love me, my mother love me. I still have my father. My brothers love me. My sister-in-laws love me. My aunts love me. My uncles love me. All you go and look for party to like all you. All you go. Love all. All you go in now. Go on now. All you looking for party to love all you. Nah. Party. What? I love my family and God. I love the Creator and I love my family. I looking for them to love me. Or they looking for love in all the wrong places, you know.
That's a song, you know.
They have a song, right? They have a song like that? Yeah, I gotta play that. Looking for love. Who sing that? Teddy Pendergrass?
No, it's a country and western song.
Oh, a country and western song. Love in all the wrong places. All they looking for love in all the wrong places. All they want politicians to love all you. Look, all you get
looking for love. It goes looking for love in all the wrong places.
You see what Ulrich encourage me in? Ulrich say, no, don't drink no water. Take a shot of rum.
Ooh.
I want a P&M rum. Is a P&M rum, man?
10 to 1.
Yeah, 10 to 1 rum. What I want? 10 to 1. All right. Look, Joan. Joan say P&M don't love you. Oh, God. Lord have his mercy. Oh, God.
You ain't got no party.
Albert said the only party Ansem will be in is a bloco. Albert, you're wicked, but you're wicked. Let me see what this says. Ansem, you have integrity. You call a spade a spade. We need that in politicians in Trinidad and Tobago from all parties. Correct is right. Correct is right. Right? We just have politicians waffling. Or you never know. You never know. Right? In politics, I had to call a spade, and I want betterment for the country. I keep telling people that. I keep telling people that. Now, for the first time, I watched the other UNC had something yesterday. What was that? Gary, what was that? What was the meeting UNC had yesterday? I watched it there. And let me play something. Let me play something here. All right, I have it here. Look at here.
What, the Monday night meeting?
And I want the UNC to follow through with this. I call in on fish sticks. Let me call out the name, eh? Albert is at UNC. I don't know, you know. I think Albert is at NAR. I think Albert is NAR. Albert is NAR.
How much of the meeting you watched yesterday? You learn anything from yesterday?
No, I learned nothing. Yeah. Ulrich, where you is? I don't know Ulrich. But hey, let me call up Vonnie Roberts. Fish stick. I don't know who Lana is, you know. Nadia. I ain't sure. Nah, John. Yeah, sure about John. I sure about Rajvi.
I think you had to go back and watch it because you didn't learn nothing. So you might have to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Capiza.
Denise Capiza. Eugene Julian tell me Julia Davy too. Even Ulrich. All them fellas know, but hey, when you listen to this, listen. All of this think I doesn't be paying attention. All listen to this. Gary, listener.
Always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory.
Folks, let me start that over. I want to start that from the beginning because I don't think we get it from the beginning. Let me start it from the beginning. Let's go. All right, let's start it from the beginning. All listen.
Protect us as we stand against injustice and iniquity, and inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions to the problems that are affecting our fellow citizens. Grant that we may always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all.
You hear that? Grant that we will work with humility.
Wait a minute. You need to go and relook and see what the UNC did from 2010 to 2015 and then
Lord.
No, Lord. Because you're going to get real hot here tonight.
Lord.
Right? Because playing performance and the things that they put in place for the people, your PNM can't come close to it.
Gary, this is the UNC, Gary. This is from the UNC.
Yes, I know it's from the UNC, but you trying to hold them to it. They didn't just talk that anthem; they put that in place.
Gary, again. Gary, again. Gary, I have called for both parties to stop the race baiting.
I ain't talking about race. I ain't talking about no race thing here right now. I'm talking about the performance what they put in place for the people. That one word that Kamala said that you guys making such a big deal, which I know is a big deal, but at the same time, what she did as Prime Minister, you never saw that under the PNM, and the PNM would not, in all that she did for the people, they're so damn.
Gary, did I ever raise anything about that, man? What did I go there?
Listen to me. What I'm telling you here.
What you telling me?
The UNC lived up to its performance. There's a lot of things they didn't live up to when it comes to delivering, to meeting the needs of our people and putting the right things in place. Did you listen to Dr. Gopi Singh?
They were not re-elected, right?
Ooh.
That's come back with that? Because of all the things they put in place, they were not re-elected. Can I finish play the video?
Oh, Lord.
But listen to me. They was not re-elected. There's a lot of questions about that election. That's a very questionable result.
You're beginning to sound like Trump now.
And no, Diana, you could talk from here, right? And you could listen to certain people bullshit on the ground there in Trinidad and Tobago. There was a lot of No matter what Kamala did for some people, she was never good. No matter what Obama did for some people, he no good, right? So that's how it went down in Trinidad and Tobago, all right? So if you want performance versus bullshit, this is what I'm telling you here, right? Performance versus bullshit and racism. Kamala, I tell you, they line up in New York to take a picture with she, but they accuse her of being a racist, right?
You see, to put the word racism in there is just ignorance.
Yeah, and that's what it is about Gary, man. I ain't talk nothing about that. This has nothing to do with that.
What I'm telling you is, what I'm talking about,
Gary,
you telling the UNC to live up to certain things. But in the short stint, in the short stint that they had in 2 5-year term, they outperformed the PNM with what they did for the country. In the level of performance.
Gary,
not that I'm saying that I'm supporting Mrs. Bisesa. Again, what I'm saying to you is I'm comparing performance, which is a lot of your people up in the north. Gary, no matter what she did for them, she's still not good.
Gary, don't say your people. Do not say that. Say
your supporters. Your supporters.
Oh, all right.
Your supporters.
Don't say your people. You know, those are coded words. Don't say those kind of things.
Well, there's other people up in the north. I mean, they don't have one race of people up in the north. They don't have one race of people up in the north.
Okay, let me continue with this video. This is a video that I listen to what they had to say, and I take the time to bring this video, and you go on way past from the video.
No, but you asking the UNC, but what the point I want to make out to you, I'm on the road, I'm trying to get back in the house here, is that certain things that they did, right? I want you to take into consideration, I asked you to look at what Dr. Gopi Singh was saying on his speech on Sunday and understand the amount of things they put to supplement and meet the needs of the children and to steer them in the right direction in the education aspect of things was ripped out. And that's why we have so much of chaos with the children getting frustrated, they're fighting. I mean, we always fight in school, but not to the extent. There was the lack of social service, the lack of support, everything to help these children advance themselves was ripped out, right? And these are the things we have to look at. We can't...
So can I continue with the video?
Yeah, he's buffering right now.
Right, so let me continue with you, right? Let me just play the video. Let me start over. Okay?
Gary, you're buffering. Wherever you are, you're losing signal.
Let me start over with you. Hold on.
Protect us as we stand against injustice and iniquity, and inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions to the problems that are affecting our fellow citizens. Grant that we may always work together with humility and respect.
And that is exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is for both parties to work with humility and respect. I am just using this video here because I saw it last night. And I'm saying to both parties, this, right? You put this now on video. You have it on video. Now you have to put the actions in place.
Right.
Right? If they continue. No, Gary, you there?
I think he's buffering.
Yeah, I'm listening. I headed back in the house, so I'll get to you in 2 seconds.
I want to ask you a question, Gary. Is calling the president of the country an insipid jackass respectful?
You see, he's going back in the house.
All right. So let's continue listening to this.
For the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country.
Yeah? The honor and glory of our country. Good. No, absolutely do it now. No, do it now. Do it. Yep. Both defense. Both sides. You all put something out and you all stating certain things. Now follow through with that.
That's right.
Follow through with that now. that's what I've said. I've said to Gary. You see, they're talking about respect and humility, right? But you have a person like Starks putting out certain statistics that I'm still waiting for somebody to prove those statistics to me.
All right, so maybe Stark didn't have his facts as far as the statistics is concerned. But every time you see things playing out, right? The man is right. Look what happened the other day we see.
Gary,
every time they turn around and gunshots flying and somebody getting shot.
Gary, he don't have his statistics right, but he don't have his.
You is a finance professor. You is a finance professor, right?
Gary,
and Stark is not.
How could you say he don't have his statistics right, but he's right?
But the man is right.
Gary, you two talked about the fact that many times you read in the newspaper and you read names that include people of different persuasions, not just from the African.
He's talking about when it comes to certain incident, the majority is of his own race of people, and he have to be concerned about that.
Gary, 100%. Gary. I want to ask.
It's just like they want to beat up Alexander.
No. Don't shift the goalpost. Don't shift.
No, I want to say, Alexander, Superintendent Alexander is a person of African descent, and he feels that there is calamity and chaos around his race of people that he's concerned about, and it's grievous to him.
Wait,
and if you talk to Superintendent Alexander, you will get a better understanding there where he feels that culturally the African leaders has failed the people. That is where Alexander feels. Has failed the people. They are wrong for festive time.
What?
They are wrong. They are wrong for festive time.
What is going on?
Huh?
Gary, who killing the wife and then killing themselves?
Gary, you want me go to the video tape? You want me go to?
I don't know.
Gary, how did you get there, Gary?
Trinidadians.
How did you get there, Gary? That's what you
Superintendent Alexander feels that it's a letdown. We feel that the leaders, the spiritual leaders, have failed to provide the right support for the community, and that's why we're dealing with the chaos that we're dealing with.
So Gary,
that
90% of the robberies in Trinidad and Tobago are done by Negroes.
I didn't say so. That's what Stark's saying. But he's saying, so maybe he's not right with the 90%.
Gary,
he's not right with the 90%, but he's saying the majority basically.
Gary, your waffles too much, man.
No, he might not be accurate with percentage in numbers answer, but every time you pick up, every time across the news is a person of African descent either jumping in somebody's house, shooting them up.
When the Indian doctor got caught with the guns, should we say all Indian doctors have guns?
Okay, so wait a minute. So the Indian, wait a minute. Okay.
All Indians are rapists, Gary.
Hello.
Gary?
So the Indian doctor got caught with guns. Okay. What was he trying to do? Protect himself or rob somebody?
Oh boy.
Was the Indian doctor who get caught with the gun?
All right, Gary. What about the Indian guy in this country who raped the 13-year-old girl? Should people say now all Indians in this country are raped?
If they want to say, they could say that. But we know that.
No, you can't say that because it's not right. It's not right, Gary.
But the truth is scaring me. The truth is, we can't stop nobody from saying anything. But what I'm saying here, the truth is staring you in your face. There's a breakdown. The reason why we're dealing what we're dealing with, it's a breakdown in community and family structure, in the social structure here. There's a complete breakdown. These young men didn't become a kidnapper overnight. Okay? They did not become a kidnapper or a criminal or a bank robber or any kind of a criminal overnight. There's a complete breakdown in this community structure, in the social structure, in the family structure, in the religious structure too. Because them religious leaders need to leave the pulpit and hit the ground. Okay? Not just put on suit and tie and get up pretty, right? And play and feel you're more holier than one other person.
You know,
all right? They need to hit the ground and get with our people and pull them out of the mess they are. That's where we are right now. Because our religious leaders, our cultural leaders, let me tell you something. When the kidnapping was going on in Trinidad, I was taking a taxi and I ran into a imam. And I asked him, I said, can you do something within your community to kind of organize the people to counterattack this thing? It's like the man tell him, the man act like I tell him he's the ugliest thing on the face of the earth. You are the religious leader. You have the ear of the people. You are the teacher and instructor of your community. You have their attention. And you cannot do nothing about the crime in your community.
Are you there? Are you there?
I think I'm frozen. Or is Gary frozen?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that's why we have problems. That's why we have problems in the country. Because when people see somebody doing something, before they correct them and hold them to task, and it doesn't matter whether they PNM or UNC, you know, we try to justify it. There's no way we could justify Stark's statistics. Absolutely no way. But we're trying to justify it. Why? Why are we trying to justify? What we should say to Starks is that Starks, you want to come out with those statistics, at least show the people where these statistics came from. At least tell the people, I went to the CSO office, I went to the TTPS, and this is the information they gave me with regards to the statistics. I show you all one statistics. Right? And Gary's saying that he's right. Right? Gary's saying he's right. Right? But then the other way, he say something might be wrong with his statistics.
All right, so the guy not too bright on statistics, but what I'm saying, answer him, every time you look at the news, what race of people committing certain kind of crimes in the country? How many Indians you see who's supposed to have all the guns and supposed to be distributing the guns in the country? How much armed robbery you see them committing? How much time you see them storm somebody's house?
Who said the Indians have all the guns?
Rape. You know, they say the Indians bringing in the guns in the country, right? The Indians bringing in...
Who said so?
The Indian bringing the gun, the Chinese bringing the gun, and the Syrian bringing the gun, and they're giving it to the African guys to go commit crime.
Gary?
Right?
Gary, why couldn't it just be a matter of, you know, the economic downturn all over the world?
It's not just a matter of economic downturn, Diana.
Gary, why
it's a matter
just be...
of
And I'm not condoning anybody committing any crime against anybody,
Diana,
but
truth is true, all right? What I'm saying to you is not just a matter of economic downturn. In an economic downturn, you could pull yourself together if you're intact with your community and fight the economic downturn and work together with each other, not rob and kill each other, right? We grew up in Trinidad and Tobago where we always share with our neighbor, bring some food here, somebody bring something they plant, somebody catch some fish.
Top of the hour.
Go ahead.
Gary, let's go for a quick station identification. It's in the village to the dark triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. It's Gary, Diana, Tommy, and me in the village with the dark triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
This worldwide recession on world economy, causing concern internationally. A worldwide recession was done in the 30s. Reason for alarm by authorities. Poor countries got to their bills, they never water. Richer countries don't want to pay, but they can't make it no better. Rainy days are gonna last, things begin to get what is the position in Trinidad? We got oil in a quantity, plenty money, even my standard of living also. The way for everything, I'm someone who says it's the land where million money flow. Cities exposed to millions, many millions, mock us in a place like Laurel. Well, now I'm ready, I don't see why you can't get that. I'm alright for now. The whole thing's in a country. We got so sudden. Don't want to have a some workers from them foreign. When they off every thought from farmers from them and from the land, no agriculture, they get from special work, paying for nothing. The world pays economy, they more pay for their production. We didn't know that the oil would have done. We spent millions food alone. When we could have told I'm just spent white when we all get back. Jack James to Miami, spend free, so you don't see and important just drop in the sky. Electronic games and videos, around when you solo. The big opportunity that's all. Well, now I'm able to see my story, money go down, Trinidad. Have a right to be boring now. Want to sell all their assets. They who also want to sell point of care. The country, they want to run with everyone. While we don't have so they don't care. We already own the company that can kill the man. What happened when we get back from the money? Sugar and money is cut is rare. Lord, we better be for a miracle. Because people running at a loss, public transportation and chaos, losing money in land, sea and air. Tea and pension shedding blood, buses taking up the road, and the whole country in red happens everywhere. Don't be holding consultation, say we want to boost production. When are we back everywhere and how? When the cash was flowing in the land, they do produce it, they do country that. I'm already to be falling now. Just warning, but the times are tough for me. We business them and we call them problems up. Now the world is over, and we feel the pressure. Trinidad is no best and a future of 7 years of affluence for enjoy by our nation. We develop what we mismanagement, scandal, pay off and corruption. If the days of it are now, my friends, business. Dependent on people falling on me. Now the damage is already done. Now it's up to everyone to fight together and deal with the economy. Right now the ship is sinking. It's up to us to keep it floating without throwing any cargo to the sea. In this kind of calamity, we no set us safe for guilty. We are just following it somehow. Now that things are looking wrong, like we want to back down and go down to the land. Have a right to be falling now.
And of course, that's the one and only Tobago Crusoe. Don't cry. Tobago, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry.
Watch out for Shara in the background there when you get a chance.
Yeah. Don't cry. I ain't see her yet. Okay. Don't cry, Tobago, don't cry. But anyway, this is anyway, take a look at this. This has to do with the cruise. Take a look at this.
Anchor, got the Royal Caribbean ready to go. Trinidadians, they're looking for work. All them people looking for work in Trinidad, ready the Royal Caribbean. What?
And they say we're not creative.
Oh God, that was good enough. Good enough. Look at it. It have this one here. Let me show you guys this other one here.
You gotta submit that one. I like that. Submit that when you get a chance.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Okay, it's frozen. Hello? Anthem seems to have dropped off the stream.
I made a mistake.
Okay. All right.
Made a mistake. I made a mistake there. Oh yeah, all the things now left. I wanted to play this one. I know you guys saw this one with the PDP, right? I thought this was somewhat. Here we go. Look at here. Listen to this one.
That video went viral with me in the background waiting by your gate. And if you don't remember her, this was her. I don't want Watson Duke. I don't want Watson Duke. So that's my gorgeous friend. I can't remember your name. With the dry, foxy grandmother wig. This is just for you. Now on Crash Course, I always seek to educate people. And there's also political education and psychological education, which is important in this country. Now, my dear friend, we are talking to you right now. My dear...
No, let me ask you a question. Is it good political optics to be talking to the people of Laventille and standing up next to a pool? I'm just kidding.
No, but if you even listen to the whole thing, she said she could be enjoying the pool and she don't have to. If you listen to the whole thing, basically she's making a point.
Yeah. So Tommy, you want to get my vote, right? And first of all, you're disparaging the woman with her wig, right?
Yeah, boy.
Who knows if she have a weave, right? Nobody knows that, right?
Mm.
You're disparaging the woman with a wig. Suppose you have on a weave now.
If somebody gets slapped for talking about somebody here, you know, so okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. And you're going up into Lavantil and you IG or TikTok.
You're buffering.
Talk wherever it is. And you're standing up in front of a
Ansem is buffering.
But I understand what you're saying, Anselm. I understand clearly. All I am saying is this. The woman was saying, look, she don't need to get involved if she don't want to get involved.
Where is this woman living?
Desire and a need which is necessary.
Where is she situated with this video here?
I don't know.
Lavantil and walk and pass the street.
She could be. Is she living in Lavantil with that pool?
Particular road, and see how so many people complaining, residents complaining about their vehicles and how to access that road. I mean, you have to whine and weave in order to get up that hill, and people are using that road daily to commute. It is wicked of the PNM government to neglect Lavantil. Lavantil would have given PNM so much of support. For all these years, Lavantil would have remained faithful to PNM. You know what I will compare that with? Let me put away this dry wig. You know what I would have compared that with? Is like a marital arrangement. You know, there are some people who live in abuse. Their mate might be physically abusive. And you, the neighbor, try to get involved and they tell you, mind your damn business. You know why? They tell you they love their husband or they love their wife. After you would have noticed that they are being physically abused and you would have gone and tried to help. Comparatively, you all have been abused by the government, and don't feel the UNC will escape by both the PNM and UNC. After I would have walked that area, we passed through the sewer. We started up in Chumaka, right? We came down to Parsley Street. We went all Box Hill, and we saw those living conditions of people who are your supporters. That is evil. It is evil when they cannot have access to water. It is evil when so many houses breaking down. The man opposite, my dear friend, my gorgeous friend, the man opposite you, his house is breaking down. He's a pensioner. I mean, the conditions, the ministers are not walking and seeing what is happening in these areas. This is wickedness, right? You all spend billions of dollars, and yet still we cannot see where the development is going. You all would have listened to the cries and the fears of the people. These cries were they feed them political lies. You all hear their tears, their fears, but yet still you demonstrate no empathy, right? Nothing to these people. And then you come and say about scarcity when you, the ministers, are living in luxury. I did not need to be there, right? You say you don't want it, but the people need it. When you say you don't want the bread, you'll be very careful because you didn't put the part when your mother was saying she wanted the bread. Be very careful, my friend. Be very careful. Don't be ashamed of charity because there are so many people who did not have enough bread. There are so many people in Lavantil that was happy for the provision of bread. The bread is a spiritual thing. Don't go on social media and say things like we don't want the bread. There are so many families that were happy for this bread. There are so many families that was their only meal for the day. Sister, know what you're doing. It is a psychological damage. And yes, people may say, well, you have a democratic right. But listen, this is no longer a right, you know. This is a fight. This is a fight for political revolution by governments that have neglected, abused, and taken advantage of the citizenry of Trinidad and Tobago. We must stand up. We must. Right? Look at the conditions. People are not asking for luxurious items. They're asking for needs, food, shelter, clothing, water. These are some of the basics. We went in some of these buildings, these 3-story buildings where there's no fire escape. We went in some of these 3-story buildings where people only get water sometimes once or twice based on a rotation system. We went in so many of these buildings where it is leaking when rainy season is upon us and water is coming through the roof of some of these buildings. We went into these buildings where the youths are asking for employment because there's a state of joblessness and hopelessness. And you will come parading with your hoxie wig on social media saying you do not want Watson Duke. I tell you, you stand corrected. You don't want Watson Duke, but you need Watson Duke. I can sit down and relax myself by my poolside. I don't have to walk through your sewer water in the back there. I don't have to be up and down with the people of Trinidad and Tobago, you know. But it is a spiritual obligation, my sister. Not a physical one. A spiritual obligation to the people, you see, the vulnerable and the oppressed people. And then all you all say and see is that Lavantil bad, Beaton bad, Caledonia bad. Where's again we try? See lots bad. You all are not seeing that there's a status frustration in these areas because there's nothing for the young people to do. There are no avenues for them to seek out and really mobilize themselves. Yes, it's like a culture of poverty that keeps permeating in these environments, and we have the ability to stop it. The mathematics is not right. Check the exponential rate. Check it and see what is happening. We don't have sustainable development. When you have a budget for billions and only 1.5 million people in this country, do the math. You have 41 constituencies. If you put $1 billion in each constituency, it's still above your budget for the year. So what you're trying to tell me? Listen, I mean it's Saturday. Today is Saturday. Well, let's stop it. I'm going to go back and clean my house, please. Stop it. Let me show you this video should have been. We need Watson Duke. Don't frustrate that man. We need Watson Duke. Trinidad need you. You could have stayed.
Mason, nothing wrong with your message. She spoke the truth.
I'm somewhere wrong there.
Huh?
We're
wrong with what
because she started next to pool.
But she's showing that she don't need to do what she's doing. She's
Gary, if you don't need, you want to tell people, you want to show people your luxury and telling them, I don't need to do this because I have this.
But
you telling me,
she making a point. She making a point.
I know you're showing to me.
For instance, do you need to be doing what you're doing?
Gary, I would not come anyway.
I mean, listen to me. However, but I look at the message. I look at the message. What she's saying. I mean, I'm not gonna knock her.
I spoke to a top marketing person in Trinidad and Tobago. Top marketing person, and they indicated to me they have run several campaigns, successful campaigns in Trinidad and Tobago, and they have said optics is everything, and you have a good message. But if the optics sends a different message, you could easily change the narrative based on your optics.
Okay, so she made a mistake, but I mean, she was upset. She was cleaning her house. She decided to come down and do a live.
The second time she did it next to the pool. Second one.
Second one she did next to the pool? Next to the pool. Well, maybe that's how she backyard is. Where you go? Does she have a pool in she backyard?
Okay.
I want a pool in my backyard in Trinidad too.
Well, yeah, I need to. I want a pool too.
But anyway. They gonna tell me go and bathe in the Caroni River.
Oh Lord!
I'm trying to get a pool in my basement. That's what I'm trying to do.
Well, I want a pool too.
I can catch some water the next time you rain.
But let's you see Shara there or she not there?
Yeah, hey Shara, welcome.
Let's leave with Shara first.
Hi, good night.
Hi Shara.
Long time. Welcome.
It's true. Thank you.
How you doing?
I think there's supposed to be somebody else joining as well.
Okay, who's that?
My friend Chrisona.
That's the graduate. Is she there?
Well, I messaged her to tell her, so I'm just checking with her. Yeah, she said she's there.
Okay,
yeah, she's here.
All right, so go ahead, Shara, do your thing.
Okay, yeah, so I was telling Gary earlier that Chrisona messaged me this morning to say that she got her final results at UE Cave Hill, and she will be graduating from the campus with honors with an LLB. So
all right.
I I think that's great news. I came into contact with Persona from last year when the students were here and we had the volcanic ash, and I have been working with her since. So I'm just really, really happy that she has been able to achieve this. And thank you to all of you as well who have assisted with all of the students during their time here, and obviously helping them in any other way when they left here and they've gone back to Trinidad or wherever else.
Congratulations, Chrisona. I'm so proud. I'm so happy and relieved.
Oh, hold on. Oops.
Is she in the chat?
Yeah. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Hello.
Hi,
Are you there?
Persona.
Welcome,
Hi.
Chrisona. This is Gary Mahabir, and I'm here with the rest of us here, Ansem, Diana, and Tommy.
Hi, good night, everyone.
Same to you. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations on your achievement.
Tell us
Thank
about your journey.
Sorry?
Tell us about your journey. And you graduated, right?
Yes, please.
What did you study?
Law.
Law? Any particular specialty?
Well, for your bachelor's, you just do like all law, all general law. But I am planning to do my master's, which will be in intellectual property law from September.
Oh, okay. In Barbados?
Yeah, it is with Cave Hill, but it's online. So I will be doing it at home.
How many credits?
You do, I think, 3 courses per semester. Each course is 6 credits.
Okay. Wow, each course is 6 credits. Oh, yeah. In our school, 3 credits is 1 class.
Well,
Yeah,
same for the bachelor's of law. So I am anticipating and anxiously anticipating what this is going to be like if it's with 6 credits.
Oh, okay. So what was the journey like?
Well, originally I started my LLB in 2017. I was supposed to be in the class of 2020. Unfortunately, in 2018, I would have had a really severe panic attack that landed me in the hospital. And from there, I would have been diagnosed with severe anxiety and severe depression. And it was kind of like all downhill from there. So I was having panic attacks all the time, sometimes even in the exam. So I couldn't finish some of the exams. And unfortunately, that led to me having to take a year off from school. So in the year when COVID started, I would have been the year I would have finished, and I couldn't finish. And it was definitely a lot for me, just mentally, because you thought you were going to finish at a specific time, all your friends are going to be ahead of you, and all of these different things. And it definitely took a really deep dive on my mental. But I decided, I will go back. So I reapplied and I got back in 2020. And I started and I told myself, I have to leave this school. I am leaving this school in 2020. And that is quite literally what I did. I studied, and I'm a night person. So when it's 6 a.m. in Barbados and I should now be getting up is when I'm just going to sleep because I was up studying. I'm going to all my classes. And it's a new environment, right? Because I don't know any of these people I'm living on halls with, because I was living on halls at the time. Because everybody that I would have known that started the journey with me is no longer there. I have to now deal with managing my mental health, which I think I'm doing pretty good with seeing psychiatrists and whatever the case is to try to get myself together. And just be determined to get out. And initially, the goal was just to get out. I just want to finish. I just want to no longer be here. I should have already been somewhere else in my life. But then I met Shara, and when she would have helped me, and I think for her, she probably thought that she was just helping with like maybe food stuff or my medication, but I don't think she knows the amount of motivation and courage that she gave to me that by the time I was finished with redoing my second year, the second time coming into my third year, which would have been last September, my final year, I was like, you know what? I'm not just going to pass, even though in my second year I was getting okay grades. I was like, I am going to get this degree with honors, if for nobody else, but I will get it for Shara. So I started even working even harder, and then I saw A's rolling in, and I was like, wow, that is really possible. And then I had this semester, and this semester hit me like a ton of bricks. I had COVID twice. My anxiety was through the roof. My brother is also there, so we were dealing with stuff from home. It was just a whole bunch of stuff was going on. But I was determined. Every time I saw Shara's face, I was like, I have to get this degree, if for nobody else than for Shara. And as soon as I saw my grades, I woke up this morning and they sent it in our law 30 law chat that all the grades are out, and I saw it. I had to message her immediately. Tears were coming out my eyes, snot was coming out my nose. It was just a really, happy moment to think not only did I accomplish my first goal, which was to get out, but the fact that I accomplished it with honors. It has given me so much more courage that I even applied to do my master's program with the same school. And I'm going to be doing my mediation course during the summer, because I'm not going to law school straight. So I'm going to get certified as being a mediator this summer. And it really opened my eyes to the possibilities. For those who believe in God, or whether or not you believe in God or universe, doesn't really matter. I always say, after I had that experience, that he knew, or the universe knew what it was doing, because I thought that, wow, I'm going back into this whole new environment. I don't know anybody. It's going to be way different than going to class face to face. I have to redo everything. It wasn't great the first time, but going back the second time definitely gave me more courage, more bravery to want to, and more perseverance and determination and motivation to just want to finish and make myself and those who have been backing me proud. And I should say, while I'm here, I'm very thankful to anybody who's on the call who would have helped me during my time there. It did not go clearly. I really hope that I made you all proud and that I did what I was supposed to do, and just know that anything that you would have given to me, it went to use, because I can stand here today and say I'm Chrisona Andrews, LLB honors. It really means the world to me. So thank you, everybody. I really do appreciate it.
So, where are you back in Trinidad and Tobago now?
Yes, please. I'm back home.
Oh, you're back home. Okay. So, your course will be done online, right? Your next degree will be done online, right? Your next degree will be done online, right?
Yes, the KFIL does the LLMs, the Masters of Laws, online, so I don't have to come back to campus.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. So Shara, how do you feel, Shara?
Well, I feel great, to be honest with you. I mean, like, when Chrisona sent me the message this morning, I had started to type a message, and then I was like, let me send a voice note. And then I was like, no. And I called her because I was like, I was so excited and just so happy as well. Like, we had this mountain ahead of us, but we overcame it, and we overcame it with honors. And like, I just couldn't be more proud. I know all of the various struggles that one can have going to university and so on. And I just honestly just tried my best as well to, just be there for her and make it as easy as possible for her, so that certain things she wouldn't have to worry about, because I just knew that she wanted to do well. I knew what her goals were, and we were just all there to support her so that she could fulfill them. And she has so far, and I know she will continue to do so. So congratulations to you, Chrisona, and I know all of us are very proud of you.
So, Chrisona, someone is saying in the chat, Gail, that's the biggest mistake you make by coming back to Trinidad. What do you say?
Well, I mean, I have to work off gate, right? I don't have money to pay back these people, so I have to work off gate. But I do plan to move eventually, in the next 2 to 3 years. But I want to at least give back all that they would have given to me before I just kick out and leave. So I promise I'm not staying here because I know why they said what they said, but I am not staying here for too long.
The government paid for you to go to school in Barbados?
Yeah, so they pay for part of my tuition.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's not bad, right?
So you say you want to do intellectual property law?
Did you hear him,
Yes,
Persona?
please.
He says
Yes,
you
I
want to
did.
do
Yes,
intellectual property law.
I want to do intellectual property.
And what market are you going to be focusing on with that specialty?
For Caribbean Radio in New Jersey for time, news, sports, and information.
Go ahead. Are you still there? Hello?
Sure. Anybody?
Yes, I am.
I'm
sorry.
here.
I heard
I'm here as well.
You heard me?
Joan Jadubia wants to know which government helped you. Did you get a scholarship?
No,
Persona?
I didn't. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we hearing you.
Hello. Okay.
We-
No, I didn't get a scholarship. I just applied for GATE. That's it.
Okay, and that's from Trinidad and Tobago, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, folks, we still have GATE in Trinidad and Tobago. The government's still doing something positive to help people go to school. Now, Chrisona, were there other people at it's Cave Hill, you said, right?
Yes, Cave Hill.
Were other people at Cave Hill who also received GATE from the government of Trinidad and Tobago? If you know?
Well, yes, almost everybody receives GATE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they no longer do it for the master's program, so it's only for your first degree or up to your bachelor's, and then you're on your own.
Okay. So they help you with. Now, do people normally get 80%, 60%, 50%, or it depends on income?
It depends on income. So in order to know how much you are, how much you're eligible for, you have to do a means test, and from there, they would decide how much GATE you will get. So I got 75% GATE. So they would pay 75% of my tuition. I have to pay the other 25. Some people get 50. Some people get the whole 100, and that's usually in the case of like if they're living with like their grandparents, or it's like a single family household, single parent household. Sorry, then you will get 100. But you have to do a means test, like sending in pay slips, and they have to verify all that information before you can get it.
So, what years are you talking about, Chrisona? Is it the last? I think you started in 2017 or 2018, right?
Yes, 2017 I started.
Right. And then there was a sort of a lull in between.
Right.
Or because of the pandemic, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But they were still paying GATE because students would have still been on campus before the world decided to shut down. So GATE would have still been paid. It's actually a part of our budget, how much they allocate towards paying GATE.
So go ahead, Chrisona.
I was gonna say, so even when they switch, like if they switch governments, because I believe the PNM is in power now. So let's say the UNC got into power, that's still something that they pay.
Okay. Now, when you get GATE, when you graduate, do you have to go and work for the government of Trinidad and Tobago?
Yes, you do. You actually have to sign like a contract now, because a lot of people were taking the money and then just leaving. So now you have to work off, depending on how much money you were given, you have to work off. It might necessarily have to be the government. You just have to work in Trinidad and Tobago for a specific amount of time.
So you have to go look for a job, or they will find a job for you?
Well, you have to look for a job, which is the sad part. But I do believe if you don't find a job after a specific amount of time, then you're free from the contract. But you have to show that you were like actively looking for a job first.
Christina, send me your resume so I can help you on that aspect of it. All right, so I can circulate it. This is
Okay,
Gary.
thank you so much.
This is Gary. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Hi, Gary.
So, so folks, I think we learned something tonight, right? That GATE is still in existence, and people do still benefit from GATE, right? So I think that's the important thing that we kind of learned tonight, because a lot of people think that, well, let me don't say a lot of people. People think that GATE is no longer sort of, or they have cut GATE tremendously, right? From 2017 to now, did you experience any cutback in GATE as far as your part is concerned?
No. My tuition per semester is 4,500 Bayesian, and they say they're paying 75%, and they've always paid their 75% to the point where if I have to bring money from like home before I go to school to pay, I know how much I'm paying because they pay that 75%. They've never cut back on anybody who either before the pandemic or after. They've never cut back on how many people or how much money they will be paying. It's just that now the only cutback I would say that they have done is that they wouldn't pay for you to do postgrad, but at minimum or maximum, your bachelor's will be paid for. Your bachelor's or your associates will be paid for.
So is it $9,000 per year? As you say, $4,500 a semester. Is it $9,000 a year?
Yes, in tuition alone.
That's just tuition alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What with room and board and books and all kind of thing? What would that take it to?
So let's see. Room. So I lived on halls, so Francora Hall, and first semester we paid 3,025, and second semester you pay 3,075 Bayesian.
Okay.
And then you have to pay guild fees, which are, I'm trying to remember, is it 60 for guild fees, I think? And then you have to pay amenities, which is like 200 and something per semester. And then, well, because we're online, you wouldn't see as much people buying books, so we just try to get the online version. So that kind of cuts down on how much books are. But one law book could run you almost 200 Bayesian, and you're doing 5 courses, so that's about 1,000 Bayesian, and sometimes you need more than one textbook, so you could go to 1,500 Bayesian or so. Yeah, so you're looking at about, what is that? Over 10,000 Bayesian per semester?
Including tuition, books, and everything, right?
Well, yeah, I didn't add like grocery. I didn't add grocery.
What would you say costs a year? Like about $12,000, right? Overall, 12,000 Bayesian.
Yeah, about 12,000.
Okay. So Shara.
Hi.
Well, it is 2 Bayesian to 1 US, right?
Yes.
Right. So that will be like about $2,000. What am I talking about? You said 12,000, right?
Yes, please.
Right.
That'd
So
be
that
like
will be
6,000 US.
Right. 6,000 US.
Mm-hmm. But as she said, that does not include like groceries or any kind of emergency or anything like that pops up, or your plane ticket even.
Right, I understand that. The only thing I'm doing, Shara, I'm comparing it to like some of the cheapest universities up here.
Yeah, no problem.
And it's still better, eh?
I laugh it not to be funny, but a cheap university appears about 15,000 US, right? Maybe 12 to 15,000. Like where I teach, it costs $55,000 a year US per year, right?
But I
So
feel like when you're calculating that, even though, well, you're living and working in the US, I feel you have to take into consideration the fact that I'm counted in TT and some people counted in EC.
right.
Yeah, but still, the amount is it's just so enormous amount here that we had to pay in comparison.
Yeah.
Point
I mean,
taken.
Yeah.
if I tell you what my when my daughter went to school, if what her yearly tuition, room and board and everything, and she stayed on campus.
I better off sending my daughter to Barbados.
You
I
know,
already got
Gary,
shared.
but Gary, you know, I never thought about that. I could have get my daughter and send she maybe she would have want to go to she would have want and she might have been able to do her MBA plus a PhD all with maybe 1 year of tuition in this country.
I had to come up with money for law school here right now, and I don't know how I do it.
Yeah, 1 year in this country. So all we are trying to say is that, sometimes, yes, people have difficulties and it's based on people's circumstances, and a lot of times when we just make these comparisons.
But it was really rough for the children, especially during the pandemic, where their parents lost income, and stuff like that. So that made it a lot more tougher for them there. A lot of students had issues.
Let me ask
So
Albert something. Albert, what does it cost for tuition in Canada? What does it cost for tuition in Canada, Albert? We have people.
yeah, our listening audience is in a few countries.
Yeah. I would like to know. Wait.
Christina, also, I spoke to one of the reporters, and let her know. So she will reach out to Shara. I will send her your number also that you can get your story out there if you want to tell it.
Wait, Capisa says Georgia Southern cost me $1,500 per semester. 1,500. How much credit to that, Capisa? And is that for commuting or is that online? If you have $1,500 per semester, if you have 2 classes, $750 each, or do you have 4 classes? And Vonnie Roberts says, Anselm, you being a lover of sweet TNT, you'll be sponsoring some Lavantil kids to USA University. Yeah, so hold up. I don't know what happened to that there. Oh yeah, so
I think we want to sponsor the kids to stay in Trinidad. It's cheaper there, or the Caribbean.
Yeah, no. So Chrisona, does an MBA and a law degree cost more money than the undergraduate?
LLB is a bachelor's in law, and
okay.
Or
LLB is a bachelor's in law.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think her we're losing her a little bit.
What is that? What does it cost for MBA?
I know from being in postgrad at UE, I want to say the postgrad degrees cost about 20 to 30,000 Barbados. But I know that they're usually obviously different rates for, like, say, CARICOM nationals and those who are with not from within CARICOM as well. But I cannot say it would be like a tremendous difference. So, but let's say in total, let's say the maximum it could be is maybe 40,000 for a master's.
How much thousand?
But when that's Barbados, which would be 20,000 US, and when I was doing mine, it included a laptop as well.
Did that include accommodation on campus too?
No, it didn't. But the one thing I would say though with the Barbados government is that if you had graduated from your undergrad, I think it's with like upper second class honors or whichever honors it is and above, then they would cover your tuition fees for your master's program. Well, certain master's programs.
No, no. Shara, do citizens of Barbados get a discounted price?
Discounted price?
Yeah, if you're a citizen of Barbados.
I would say they are heavily subsidized.
Okay, so yeah, so for
Remember in Barbados, the one thing is that like people usually get up to free tertiary education.
Okay.
Which includes your undergrad for sure. And as I said, certain master's programs,
It includes your
depending.
undergrad?
Yeah, your undergrad is paid for by the government.
Free?
Yes. Like you would only have to pay like for your guild fees and little things like that. So I would say all in all for actual schooling, you probably pay about $1,000.
That's for
And then
basic
citizens? Yeah, and so then like if you need to get your textbooks or different things like that, obviously those costs are at you. But in regards to your actual schooling, yes, I believe you only pay 1,000 Barbados.
So why we Trinidadian students don't get that same thing?
Well, Gary, honestly, I have that question myself, especially as it's labeled University of the West Indies.
Yeah, we funded.
But me being Grenadian as well, like I've experienced many issues at UE Cave Hill. So to me, even though the name says University of the West Indies, it's still dependent upon each government as to what level of tuition they will be covering for their students to attend. It's not same across the board. And also, I remember when I was there was a semester where, like, my government, I think some people from, like, St. Vincent and some other islands, they did not send their fees to the campus within, like, the first 2 weeks of the semester. And the university was aware that even if they didn't come within the first 2 weeks and they came within that semester, they still allowed the students to register, etc. Anyhow, that was not the case that semester, and they told all of us we couldn't register. So we had to take semesters off. And fortunately, I lived in Barbados, so at least, I was here. But for those who didn't, they had to, return home, deal with leases they would have signed in regards to accommodation there, if they were staying on campus, all their hall fees, etc., etc. So, it's really something I question when I see a title as University of the West Indies, and knowing that each country determines what level of tuition they are going to cover for the students who attend from that particular country.
But I can't understand why our students can't even stay in Trinidad and get the same education while they're in Trinidad. I mean, no, they have an extension university now in Debe. So I mean, going forward, I think our students should be able to get the same education and stay in Trinidad instead of having to do that expense, to stay, for accommodations.
Well, Gary, I think what happens is that maybe some students can get into the University of West Indies in Trinidad.
Well, no, the course might not be available there. They might be like the things were spread out. Like if you wanted to study medicine, you had to go Jamaica. And if you want to study law, you had to go to Barbados. Yeah. And then we built the wooded
law school.
Law school in St. Augustine there, next to the high school, the senior sec there. So, but still, a lot of people who wanted to study law had to go to Barbados for some reason or the other.
Yeah, because I think the first part, the LLB, is what is still done in Barbados and Jamaica. But then if you actually want to then go to court, then you go to Hewarding in Trinidad, or you can go to Mona in Jamaica if you want to do that part of it. I'm not sure if Trinidad now offers the full law degree, which is why you still have students coming here. But for instance, something that Barbados did, because a couple of years ago, the students could not do medicine here they would have to have gone to either Jamaica or, well, I think no, most of them went to Jamaica. But now Barbados has a medical school here. So basically, Bajans can stay here and do medicine.
What about the medical school in Grenada?
Pardon me?
There's a medical school in Grenada too, right? But that's for the U.S.?
Yeah, but that's St. George's. That's not necessarily UE. I'm not sure if now I think they might have an open campus, but obviously that's still very limited in its offering.
Yeah, a lot of people from the United States go to that school in both St. Vincent and in Grenada. No,
yeah, a lot of people go there, and in all fairness to it, because I've had family members and friends who have gone to St. George's, it is an excellent opportunity because obviously of the association with it being a U.S. university. Great opportunity awaits them when they then can transfer to the U.S. and really excel in their field. Because in the Caribbean, we do have our limitations, unfortunately. So when they go to the States, like basically sky is the limits, especially depending on what particular area of medicine they want to specialize and excel in.
So, Chrisona, what did you apply to several of UE campuses, and you ended up at Cave Hill?
Yes, I did. I actually applied to all the UE campuses. But I really wanted to go to Cave Hill just to experience a different way of life and culture. I think Jamaica reached out first and then Cave Hill. And Trinidad did not respond to me until like late August when I was getting ready to leave to go to Cave Hill. And it wasn't even for law, it was for my second choice. But yeah, I applied to those and I also applied to a few schools in the UK, but I decided to go to Cave Hill.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of makes some sense.
At least you were in warm weather conditions.
Definitely. That was one of the deciding factors.
Yeah.
So Albert Montano said his son told him he paid $850 Canadian per course, with a discount as a benefit being a reserve in the army. So 850 Canadian, right, for one course. So that's about 5 5 to 25, 5 8 to 40, 42, $4,250, right, for one class, right? I mean, for five classes, and that could be a semester, right? So 850. So I mean, you could see that the deal we get in the Caribbean is a good deal as far as school is concerned. It may still be prohibitive for a lot of families anyway.
But the international recognition, I mean, you come to the US, so I know for the UK you might have a chance, but the US, how recognizable it is here in the US, the University of West Indies degree.
So Lana says, imagine I listening to her, my little son will finish school next 2 years. What job will he get if things don't change in TNT?
Well, Gary, just to answer you, Anselm. Just quickly, Gary, UE is an accredited university, and I believe once you have an accredited degree, then it is recognized, I guess, more globally than one that's not. So, certain degrees obviously would be easy for you to just simply start a job, but obviously things like medicine and law, because it's different depending on where you want to practice, you might still have to engage in further examinations, which you need to pass before you can then practice within that particular jurisdiction.
Yeah, well,
you're on point.
If you come to this country, you have to take, well, I think to get into med school, you have to take what's called the MCATs. I think it's
yeah, but remember, you have to go and do a certain amount of period in internship too. Also, unless you graduate and you become a doctor, you have to go and spend like 5 or 6 years working, in a hospital or something under supervision. And depends on the
Yeah.
field. Some people go 10 years.
Yeah. 8 years after you. Yeah.
It's interesting. So Christina, all in all, you had an experience. There was some bumps in the road, but you overcame all those bumps, and now that you are finished, you are seeing what's ahead of you, what's ahead for you as you continue this journey.
Yes, most definitely. It was a really great experience. I would say KFL is the most diverse of the campuses for UE. So a lot of people learned about me being from Tobago, and I learned a lot about different islands and cultures and food and things that they say. It may not have been as in depth as living there, like in the other Caribbean countries, but it definitely opened my eyes to understanding our Caribbean as a bit better.
So if you had to do it all over again, you'll do it the same, right?
Yeah, definitely. KFL is the place to be. KFL is the place. Yes, you could go to any of the other campuses to do any of the degrees, but if it is you really want a really good cultural Caribbean experience, I would definitely recommend KFL.
Okay, when I send my daughter to come check you guys then.
No problem. We'll be waiting for her.
So, Shara and Christina, stick with us for another few minutes. Let's go for a quick station identification, and we'll be right back after this. It's In the Village with the Dark Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. Lana is telling people to get in med school in Trinidad, just start plant weed. I don't know about that.
Oh, Lord.
We right
Well,
back.
so you're going to market, now you go finance yourself because it's so expensive.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
We are back with you. It's In the Village with the Dark Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. Fishstick, I saw this video you sent me. We played that video on Thursday, right? So Christina, you had an experience there. What are some of the great things that you took away from your experience there? How long did you attend Kville? How long was it?
Well, it would be 4 years.
4 years. Okay. So, I mean, if somebody was to ask you, what were some of your great experiences there, what would you say?
I would say, firstly, living on halls. Initially, I didn't even want to live on halls. I wanted to live off campus, but my mom told me just live for 1 semester, and if you don't like it, then we will try to see. And I have been living on halls for the entirety of my KFL career. It's definitely its own community there. It's a family there. I lived on Sir Frank Royal Hall. There's Sir Philip Sherlock Hall. There's Keith Hunt Hall. And the culture on each hall is so different. Definitely, my hall's experience was amazing. My cultural experience was amazing in terms of finding other Trinbagonians that were on the campus and having a group of people who share the same culture and sometimes the same background as you, so you have a group to turn to in a foreign country. That was definitely an amazing experience. But also living in Barbados was an experience on its own. I've been home for about a month and I am ready to go back. Like I know I can't, but I am ready to go back to Barbados because I love it so much. But just interacting with other people from different islands, from different cultures, even two people from the same island have two different cultures because there might be a countryside versus a town side and so forth, and you hear all these stories and all these how they cook different things, how they say different things. All of that was just an amazing experience.
What is the number of students they have on campus?
You are listening to WZYE LP 95.
What's the number of students they have on campus in the dorms at any one time?
So I know Sir Frank Royal Hall can hold about 180 students. But it wasn't 180 though during the last 2 years because of the pandemic. So it was maybe a little under 100 so that there would be proper spacing out. Keith is more one of the smaller halls, so I would say about 50 or 60. And Sherlock had about 75 people. So altogether, that might be what? A little close to 300?
Okay.
Chrisona.
Yes,
Chrisona?
please. Yes, please.
Yes. I have a passion for Caribbean integration. What were your feelings about the mood of the students from the different islands as it relates to wanting an integrated society?
I think if you ever want to do a study or anything, talk to KFA students. We are so for Caribbean integration. I was just in a what do you call those things on Twitter where this is the same kind of forum as this?
Like a
A
chat
space.
room.
Yeah,
A webinar.
a chat room. And they were actually talking about interregional if transportation, meaning like flights and um ferries and stuff like that. And the people who were talking were people who I went to class with, people who were just maybe a class or two above me. And we're very much into the coming together of the Caribbean. And you like maybe when you just go, you might think, oh, my country is the best, and you have that right. You have that right. But when you go to KFL, you definitely see, wow, this country is better in this aspect. That island does this better than us, and we could definitely learn from that. I've seen a lot of students who graduated before are doing their masters and even their doctorate in things that revolve around Caribbean integration. I have a friend, Dennis McCall. He's in England, I think, right now, doing his doctorate in aviation tourism, I believe. And that's because he plans to fully scrap and revitalize how we view Caribbean Airlines and LIAT and inter Caribbean Airlines and all these different places. So Kerrville definitely is a breeding ground for Caribbean integration.
I appreciate you answering that question for me because that's something that I've focused on for maybe 2 decades now. That the only solution for a good life in the Caribbean is an integrated one.
That's very true. That's very, very true. We can't do this by ourselves at all.
So I want to say, Chrisona, thank you so very kindly for joining us. And Shara, thank you so very kindly for bringing Chrisona to us. Chrisona, any closing words before you go?
I just want to say once again, thank you to everyone for having me, first of all, and for helping me. It truly meant a lot. And for everyone listening, and I hope you guys have a great night. I wasn't here for the part before, so I'm not sure what you'll talk about, but I really hope that it might have opened your minds to new ideas and way that we could better ourselves and our countries and our Caribbean and our world. Have a great night, everyone.
So, Christina, I wanna bring you back again. So we'll be in touch. I have your number, so I'd like to bring you back again. To have some conversations in reference
Not a
to what
problem.
Tommy raised and other things. All right.
Not a problem.
All right. Thanks.
So our good friend Shara, any closing words before you go? Shara, again, we want to thank you for all that you have done in the past, all the hard work that you've done and still continues to do. We want to thank you so much. Any closing words?
Yeah, you're very welcome. Well, again, I just wanted to say thank you for inviting me onto the show this evening and for allowing Chrisona to be here too. And also thank you as well for supporting me to be able to achieve the things that I have. For instance, helping Chrisona, who here is this evening with us, having graduated from UE with her LLB honors. So, I just want to say, just thankful amidst everything that could be going on in this world, just us being together. Tommy, this is Caribbean Unity here. All of us came together from throughout the diaspora to assist, and we see the benefits of it. we've reaped the benefits of it. So let's just continue in that manner.
So again, Shara and Chrisona, thank you guys so very kindly. And Chrisona, continue on that upward successful path. And maybe, you know, as you continue along this path, next thing is your MBA, and next thing is your, you know, law degree. And you never know, you know, you might look at a SC in the future. so enjoy it,
Thank
okay?
you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks. Bye, guys.
Thanks again for joining us. Thank you very
No
much.
problem.
We'll be in touch, Shara. Thanks.
Okay.
And
Take
Chrisona
care.
here. Thanks. Bye.
So, folks, there you have it. We had Shara out of Barbados and Chrisona out of Trinidad joining us here in the village with the Dark Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. So, look, Rajvi, Lana, Renee, Nutsteak, Joan gone. Put closing comments in the chat.
Answer.
Yeah.
You see the results there? No, you know, that a certain person was bad talking me and saying, oh, I'm making up lies that children needed help in Barbados for students, and I was trying to help them, and I'm not telling the truth. You know, and all this kind. You see the results? You see the results for this young lady in the midst of a pandemic, while I'm dealing with all these other things and trying to get food for the, you know, for the children that's struggling because their parents are a little bit in a bind, you know, and because of the pandemic. I mean, we had people there who needed help. It was a genuine thing.
Sometimes you can't worry about sales, you know. You gotta keep on trucking.
Yeah, but I mean, I was just focusing on children that needed help. But I mean, you know, it was a genuine thing. They needed real help. You know, it wasn't easy.
And Nadia and Albert Montano, put closing comments in the chat. So Rajvi, Lana, Albert, Rene, Nutscake, Albert, put closing comments in the chat. You know, so folks, I think that we had there was Steelman thing in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah. I'm Tommy. I'm just.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Tommy, I'm just wondering if we could organize here with the Caribbean Commission to help some of these students, you know, financially. Is there anything we can do, some kind of activity, some event, you know, to kind of build some funding to support our children in the Caribbean there, you know?
Absolutely. I can bring it to the commission, and we can do things together.
I know they have the UV Guilting American Foundation up in New York there, but I want to get things set up here in the city of Newark. I don't want to have to travel to Brooklyn. That's why I want to build our base here, you know, so that we could get some things going to support our children. You know, I mean, they really need help, and all of them are not saying things publicly, but they really do need help. You know, so if we could do something to help, you know, finance them, you know, that would be nice.
Better than that. I'll talk to you privately.
Yeah. Just kind of throwing it out there. So we'll talk more on that.
So all right, there you go, Gary. Closing comments, Gary.
I want to thank everyone for joining us, and especially Shara and Chrisona. I feel so happy and proud and relieved, you know, that this young lady made it through with such high honors. You know, I'm kind of walking in here right now, you know. So I just want to, you know, encourage everybody that, you know, that's making an attempt to better themselves to stick it out, you know, and go through the thick and thin, and, you know, just look at the finish line. You know, Ansem is a runner, so he could understand when he talks about, you know, the finish line. Anyway, thank everyone for joining us, and I'll see you on Thursday.
And let me say a special hello to those online: John Jacob Thomas, Ellery Davis, Brian Soon, and Iba Steele Atong, and Ron Joseph. It seemed that, you know, we have people.
Yeah, welcome.
These are new people, but they are on they seem to be on Facebook. I gotta check into that Facebook thing.
Yeah. So we just want to let them know the objective here is to bring our people together to build the diaspora connection so that we can share ideas in improving our country, you know, and we want to encourage everyone to communicate with us and to come on board, you know, to let's work together.
So, of course, folks, my closing quote for the night: Run DMC, welcome. Your circumstances may determine who you are, but you are responsible for who you become. Remember, from where I sit, this is it. The clock on the wall said that's all I like to say, but I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. And for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. See you. Same WZYE time, same WZYE channel. Go ahead, Tommy.
Yeah, I'm going to comment on a realization. Yeah, this is the words of Carlos Santana. Everybody knows Santana. Santana says, realize that when you get older, you either get senile or you become gracious. There's no in between. You become senile when you think the world's changed you, or everybody wakes up to you to undermine you. You become gracious when you realize that you have something the world needs, and people are happy to see you when you come into the room. Pleasant good night to each and every one. It's been a pleasure being here in the village, and I look forward to our next session. Love you all. Good night. Be safe.
There we go. Rennie Muhammad says, we are all one people under the same sun. Peace, love to everyone. Lana says, closing comments. I want my money now. I don't want my money sleep out. I want all right now. Lana, they'll give you all. Hold on, I think that's it for the closing. I see Takesha tonight. June, good night. Good night, Diana. Okay, we're gonna play this one. We have our next one. We're playing a different one tonight. Okay, where's this one? Oh, wow. Is that one, boy? Let me see. No, that's not it. Okay, we go play this one then. Nah, hold on. We ain't playing that one. Let me see. Okay, here we go. We the people.
Hey, hey, oi, oi. Hey, hey, oi, oi. In Trinidad and Tobago, politics was we and them. That was never meant to be so, according to the anthem. But ethnic insecurity was maintained to divide us by some people in the country to sow the seeds of distrust. But we have got a new system within the community. Now what used to be we and them has now become only we. From now on this nation is we. From now on it is you and I. From now on it is unity. From now on we flying high. All the races have come together to build a better country and create a brighter future for the whole society. The we and them thing is no more, because it is plain to see in this country from shore to shore the community is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we and we and we and we. India and some came from Africa. Look today, their descendants are here, coexisting together. There are others who came here too, the Chinese, Syrians and such. Native people are just a few in this land that we love so much. But the politics of the day and the love for a party cause people to begin to say them is them and we is we. From now on this country is we. From now on we all shall be one. From now on that's how it shall be. today united we stand. The people of Trinbago, one country, one nation, one island. Chutnipan and Calypso, it's Trinidad and Tobago, better known as TNT. And we want the whole world to know we see ourselves as we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we and we and we and we. In this nation is no more, and Mother China done disappear, gone away for good I'm sure. If we want to build a real nation, there can be no we and them. In spite of ethnic persuasion, all should fit in the system. Side by side we stand hand in hand within the society. This here paradise island, because you and I means we. From now on love and tears we. From now on race do not matter. From now on we means unity. From now on we are together. They cannot divide me again, cause we enter a new era. United we shall all remain, looking out for each other. Eric tell me matter they done. Today it is plain to see a new paradigm has begun, and that paradigm is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we and we and we and we. Some politicians have tried their best to keep we subdivided, as their policies would attest. And now we are united, using that old colonial scheme. They sought to divide and rule, because if we are not a team, we are more easy to fool. Look, they had us fighting each other, causing misery and pain. Now all these times are gone forever, before never again. From now on Trinidad is we. From now on one philosophy. From now on Tobago shall be. From now on standing equally. No more African, no more Indian. We shall all be citizens, forged together to build one nation. Though we are different persons, done away with the we and them. In this land of La Trinity, whenever we sing the anthem, from now on is only we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we and we and we and we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we and we and we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we.